Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Toby. Welcome to the podcast. If you're a new listener, welcome. I'm going to give a big shout out to my day ones for the past 6 years, my subscribers, my listeners. I appreciate people who talk about this podcast, who share this podcast, who support this podcast, who write reviews for this podcast. Really appreciate all your support. I've been doing this for 6 years. I've been giving it away for free. So many people ask me why I don't film it, why I don't monetize on YouTube, why don't I charge people for it on Patreon? And their answer is because I don't want to. I love these conversations in my kitchen. I love the honesty. I love that people want to come back for 2 or 3 episodes, the reoccurring guests that I have all the time. I love it. No lights, no cameras. I myself do not like going on podcasts that are being filmed and have lights. I've done it a couple times. I'll probably never do it again. I don't feel like myself in those situations. So I want all my guests to be as comfortable as possible. I do have sponsors. The sponsors keep my shit going. They keep it alive. But I will never interrupt a conversation with an ad in the middle of it. People do that all the time, and I will never interrupt the flow of a conversation. So don't worry about that. But I do have amazing sponsors who I align myself with, who the products that I use on a daily basis. I've turned down so much money for sponsors that want to be part of this podcast with companies I've never tried or didn't align with. I'm very picky about who I have on my sponsors and have on this podcast. That being said, check out the sponsors. Joe, cue up the music. Since 1987, Rockabilia has been around doing officially licensed merch. No bootlegs from all the artists that I freaking love, from pop to hip hop to rock to hardcore to punk. Over 500,000 items on this website, independently owned, operated in the USA. Custom limited collabs drop every month exclusively on this website from visual artists and tattoo artists. We have so many bands that I love and artists that I love, from Gaga to Blink, Katy Perry, Bad Brains, Beastie Boys, De La, Tribe Called Quest, 50 Cent, Billy, Deftones, Dead Kennedys, DMX, Dr. Dre, Eric B. and Rakim, Goo Goo Dolls, Hall & Oates, Wu-Tang, U2, Snoop, TSO, and Paramore. Those is to name a few of all my favorite bands that are on this website. I've owned t-shirts from all those artists throughout my life. Now I know to go here only. All officially licensed merchandise. Check out Rockabilia Instagram. Also go to rockabilia.com and use my code OLLC10 and get 10% off. That's rockabilia.com. Use my code OLLC10 and get 10% off your purchases. Thank you to Rockabilia for being our new sponsor. Welcome to OLLC fam. As we get older, we start paying attention to what we put in our bodies. I personally have been listening to my body since I was 18 when I went vegan. I've always been focused on my health. It's super important, mental and physical health. But it's really important for people who are just starting to get more healthy and trying to step up their life. Doing your homework, reading the labels, researching and verifying everything that's quality. It's part of the game these days. That's why I started drinking AG1s. I'm so proud to have them as a sponsor of my podcast. AG1 is a foundational nutrition supplement that delivers daily nutrients and gut support and is backed by multiple research studies so you can trust what you're putting into your body. We're all so busy these days, so just store a pack of AG1 in the morning into a cup of water and shake it up and drink it. I love the way it tastes. I do it every single morning. It's part of my routine. I bring the packets on tour. It's an incredible life changer for me. Many supplements only reference research from ingredients in their product, but I trust AG1 in my daily routine because it's constantly putting the formula to the test. It's backed by multiple research studies. And one of those research studies, AG1 was shown to have double the amount of healthy bacteria in the gut, which is super important because these help digestion in the immune system and the immune health. And these bacteria are known to help with digestion as well, gas and bloating, which I freaking need. And it also promotes regular bowel movements, what I can attest to. In another research study, 97% participants felt more energy after 30 days and 91% of the participants noticed that they needed less coffee after 60 days. I quit coffee like 5 months ago. I know I'm good on that. But AG1 is packed with a variety of nutrient-dense ingredients and is the perfect complement to my healthy diet. I drink it because I know it's going to work and it gives me a peace of mind covering all my nutrition bases for the day. In fact, I trust it so much, that's why I'm spreading the word about it. That's why it sponsors my podcast. Thanks to Angie Huberman for turning me on to AG1s, connecting me with them, and now they're part of my podcast. It's so easy and satisfying to start your day with AG1s. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of the vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your purchase at drinkag1.com/OLLC. That's drinkag1.com/OLLC. It's never been a better time to focus on your health and wellness and get back on track, man. Take control of your daily health. Health is wealth. We're back on here for the part.
Yes.
Part 2, man.
Part 2, part 1.
That's the part 1. So we did a podcast before, and then we thought about, like, you know what, we've been hanging out a lot since then. I think it'd be a bit better conversation if we jump back on and do a whole new one, because we've been plunging, getting tattooed in the garage.
Yeah. I've been here like 10 times since. The first time was like we had just met.
I know.
Now we're like, all right, cool. Now it's a real
chilling.
Yeah.
Totally. But you got tattooed in my garage by Astrid. That was cool.
Yes, she rules.
That was some sick DIY action going on in the garage. It's never really happened before. Hasn't happened since. She just tattooed.
I thought that was like a normal thing over
But not
there.
in the garage. It was usually in my house.
Oh, okay,
or like next to the cold plunge.
Dude, she is the best. Like,
I know.
She did the cowboy hat for my dad, state of Alaska.
Yeah.
Thin.
She killed it.
Light.
Yeah, it was really light-handed, right?
Yeah.
You've never experienced anything like that
Nothing
with tattoos.
like that, no.
That's like the new generation of tattoo artists. It's almost like a big fat Sharpie or something, you know? And it's like the vibration, and there's no like intense sound like a regular tattoo machine.
I could hardly hear it. Too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you doing, man?
Wow.
Back in the pod, dude.
Good. Yeah,
we
just went in the cold plunge.
I know, we just plunged.
Yeah.
Dude, we just did the plunge, and I was like, that's kind of easy today. Then we realized it was like 50 degrees, which is like, I mean, that's standard. According to Mr. Huberman, 50 and below is perfect.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to get the same.
We kind of thought we were tough, though, at first. We're like, this is easy, because you were like, it's 38.
But you're going to get the same effects, I guess, with being 50 or under.
It felt good, though.
Yeah.
Like, I was, freshened up.
And then since you've been coming over here, you got inspired, and you got your own plunge and sauna coming.
Soon, end of this month.
Damn.
I got the barrel sauna and the plunge coming.
Dude, that's so cool.
Yes.
You excited?
Very, yeah.
It's like waiting for a baby to come.
Dude, I'm like, every day, I'm like.
You counted down, tracking it?
Yeah, I am, yeah.
It's going to be cool.
Yeah.
And then you're going to put it together?
Hell yeah.
You're a handyman. You show me some things you're working on. You're a super handyman.
I was laid down a bunch of cobblestone and fucking these pillars in the front yard. Yeah.
That's some real adult, like, dad shit.
Yeah, it was nice.
That stuff you kind of like you watch YouTube and learn about stuff like that?
No, I've been doing little kind of handyman shit for I don't even know how long. Like, my uncles are carpenters. I just got into it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I like,
it's in your blood.
Yeah, it's a part of me. It's part of who I am.
But you're pretty handy with stuff. That's cool.
Yeah, but it's simple shit, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I watch people do something, and I'm like, all right, that could be, I can figure it out. And then sometimes I just fuck it up, and then I'm like, oh man, I put down hardwood floors in a house, and I fucked them all up, and I was like, dude, I had to have
redo them all too?
Yeah, but I had to have somebody come in and redo them, and I was like, dude, yeah, so I don't know. I always like. I think I can do it, and I try and do it, and then I'm like, sometimes I can, sometimes I fuck it up. And now I'm a little bit more wise about it. I'm like, all right, I think if I can't really do it, I'm just gonna waste a bunch of time and money. Then
I mean, the DIY stuff's awesome, but as long as you get it right, because if not, you have to get a professional to come really do it.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just want that, something to deal with the stress or like.
I learned to use a level. This is the thing that keeps me on.
That's legit.
Keeps me on track.
Do you have like a toolbox and stuff? You have all that?
Yeah, I got some stuff. Yeah. I got a chop saw and all that shit.
I wish I really stepped it up as like as an adult and really like figured out that stuff. Just being.
I'll come over. We'll work on that garage.
Yeah, because for the listeners, they know my garage has been flooding for years, and Eric just came up with the solution for it because he did to his own garage. So I'm excited because I got like sandbags in there, and that didn't work. Also, these things from Amazon, they're like this black kind of. Seem like papers things, and then when water hits them, they like fill up and they get bigger and they expand. Called flood something.
I've never seen.
Everybody used them. They're highly rated on Amazon, but I've had them 3 times, and the water just comes right past it.
Water's tricky. Like,
I know.
Yeah, if you don't, what we'll do is we'll just put down we'll basically build a barrier, and then you put like some, you basically put tar or something under it, and it'll just seal it, but it won't look the best.
And you just figured that out yourself when to fix your garage. You just figured that yourself.
Yeah, because I was like, well, what? Basically, I was just like, well, what would be the solution? Would be like a full wall there, right? And then I was like, well, then I'll just build a little part wall that's like 3-4 whatever inches tall, and then it'll just hold the water as long as it doesn't flood past that. And your garage won't. My garage didn't flood past that. Like,
I'm so excited.
Yeah,
I'm finally gonna have something where I can like open my garage and be normal. Yeah. How's your life been since we've been hanging? How you been doing?
Real
You've been traveling. You've been busy. You've been.
Well, let's see. I mean, we hung out like a week ago or something, but for anybody else, I was in Italy in January. I did a little shoot thing out there, so that was fun. Actually, I ended up landing out there like 2 days before the fires here, so like, that all happened, and it was like crazy anxiety being away from my family being here and all the stuff that was happening. That was real gnarly. And then we went to New York a couple weeks ago. And it was the first time I had been there in like, I don't know.
It was freezing?
Yeah, it was. Well, actually, it was like, maybe 10 degrees the week before we got there, and when we got there it was like 40. So it was mellow.
Yeah.
It was pretty mellow.
You love New York.
I do.
You love New York and the history of it, and like especially with skateboarding and all that culture and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, like, dude, I was living in Alaska when I watched kids.
Yeah.
And like the way that skateboarders interacted with the world, it was much different than the way that I was growing up doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, just like, going out there over the years, like going out partying, like throughout like my, days being a pro skateboarder and all that. I enjoyed it. And it's
Did you know Harold Hunter?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. And then Shut Skates. I remember Sean Sheffy and just the whole crew and all that stuff.
Sheffy was one of my favorite skaters growing up.
He was sick.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize how much of an impact that movie Kids had on people. It's like a very, I don't know, it's just a very powerful movie, I guess. Or,
Were you living there when that?
Totally. And I saw those kids hanging out and stuff like that. Like we'd run our own crew and they'd be running around like in different, maybe hip hop clubs running into each other or. But yeah, there was definitely seeing those kids whole rolling around. Yeah,
that's what was so cool about seeing that was like, and then later on finding out about it, being firsthand and being there, was like, the world's kind of collided in different. There's people and all those outlier type things was all kind of like the city brought everybody together and every like I don't know,
hip hop, skateboarding, everything.
Yeah, that was what was, I don't know. I think it was one of a kind. It was one of a kind in New York.
So you seeing that, you're like, oh my God, this is crazy. I want to be there. I want to go check out that scene in that city.
Yeah.
That was crazy. And a couple of those kids passed. I remember there's some trauma after that movie.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that was just like the thing, like skaters and punk rockers and hip hop, all that was kind of meshed together out there in New York.
Yep.
It's like the melting pot for it.
Artists and like all that, like the what was the what was the spot that was it was down the street from my wife's place. Alleged gallery.
Okay. Was her spot in Williamsburg?
KCDC was in
KCDC
Williamsburg.
Was
Yeah. She was there from like 2001, and then she just recently closed down. So 2024.
It's a long time, man.
Yeah, 24 years. Crazy, yeah.
Especially for a skate spot, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, for skate shops, it's like dog years. For a skate shop, it's a hard business.
Because everything's online now.
Yeah, everything's online, and like skating and just like. Every year is tough. Like and skating goes through so many different cycles of like, it's popular, and then 2 years later it's like nobody's buying this, or shoes and clothing support a good portion of sales, and everybody's going in, they try the shoes on and they order them online, so it's tough.
I do that too. I know to do it too. I'll go try them online, give them, that's true. It's a good point.
Yeah.
I feel like Thrash was like that Thrasher shirt, like we talked about it on the original thing, just like how popular it was, and it's like a fashion kind of thing.
Yeah.
But just a couple of those with the flames, I see it all the time, man.
Yep.
It's crazy how stuff from our generation, from that time, from the 80s, how it's still popular.
Yeah, for sure. Like, things like a Thrasher shirt, independent shirts, things like this. It was like, it became like almost like a mainstream, people would just be representing it. Used to be, I remember in the late 80s I started skating, and then through the 90s you'd be able to easily identify somebody that skated.
Absolutely, man. Same with the punk rocker too.
Yep.
Like the Ramones shirts or Misfit shirts that they sell it. Like,
but now you can get a Ramones shirt at Target or something.
Urban Outfitters,
yeah.
Target too. Wow.
Or like they'll.
No, that's true though.
You'll see. So
but now it's hard to tell.
It is, yeah.
Unless you have a conversation with that person.
Mm-hmm.
But back then you just give them like a nod, like "What's up?"
Yep.
And you knew they're part of the tribe.
Exactly. Yeah. And you didn't see them that often either. So it was like in Anchorage, Alaska, there was a handful, maybe, I don't even guess, 30, 40 skaters growing up. Maybe. And I only knew like 10 or 15 of them. But if you saw somebody that you didn't know that was skateboarding, it was like immediately like part of it. Was like, that was it.
Yeah. Were you like one of the first skaters in the town, or there was already skaters there?
No, I was still on the younger side. Yeah. So like the people I was skating with when I was probably 12, they were like 15, 16 years old.
Okay.
And so I guess
that's
like,
young, 12. Wow.
Yeah, skating probably like the people that I would be skating with would have been some of the first. The guys that were like 18 in 1988 would have been like some of the first skaters up there.
Damn.
Brian Hawes, like these people that I'd hear about, somebody like, this guy Brian Hawes is crazy, and you'd be like they were such legends. Yeah, such legends.
What's like a crazy trick you think they were doing back then? Like this is so shocking and crazy, but now it's like,
like if I put,
That's a
okay,
hand
so,
plant.
you know, that would have been something, you know,
Yeah,
or like a
which
little
is
bit
still
later
sick.
on, it's like somebody who could ollie over a trash can.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
that's
like which
sick.
would have been like mind blowing that somebody could actually
Back
do
then.
something that like Gons or Nodis was doing.
Mhm.
And you know, if say you saw it in the magazine months and months later, and then somebody like Brian is doing it in Alaska, like,
That's
you
cool.
know, like,
Yeah.
to, I feel like to us up there that they were so impactful, you know, like
Yeah.
a legend in your own town. And they probably, if they'd moved, you know, if they were in California or somewhere like in New York, they probably wouldn't have even been that good.
Yeah.
But to us,
they stood out. Yeah.
it really, really stood out.
Into the older guys too.
Yeah.
Were they sponsored over there or no?
One guy wrote for Concrete Jungle. Do you remember that company?
No, I don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
What year that was? Like some 90s
That
stuff?
would have been 89, 90.
Damn.
Yeah.
So yeah, and so that town is just like there's only far and few of you guys.
Yeah. There wasn't many of us.
Damn.
There wasn't many.
You were 12 years old skating with these guys.
Yeah. 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 I remember I saw
Did
like,
Tony Hawk come to your town or something? Did somebody come do like some sort of?
no, Jason Lee came
Jason
to my
Lee
town.
came. That's right,
Yep.
Jason Lee.
And that was
Impactful, yeah.
really impactful. He visited a skate shop called G&B, which was like, you know, it was a small skate shop in our town. And
I always forget he was like a legit skater before he was an actor.
yeah. And he was one of my favorites growing up.
Okay.
I just remember like standing in line and being outside the shop, seeing him sitting on the skate shop counter. He had like orange spray painted airwalks, you know, he just, you know, he had cut off
Yeah.
shorts.
Cool
Like
style.
that was his style, was something that I was just, you know, like I was blown away by that.
Yeah.
He signed a hat for me. I still have the hat.
It's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
What hat is it? Do you remember?
It was just a random hat. It had some like, I think it actually had like some Chinese writing on it. It was supposed to
shit.
be like, I don't even know what the fucking hat was. It was my favorite hat. I wore it for like a
You still
year or
have it,
2
too.
years. Yeah.
Did you meet him later on in life and tell
I
him that?
met him later on. I actually sent him a photo of the hat.
Wow, dude,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
He was a ripper, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and then,
What if he still skates?
yeah, I'm sure he still cruises
Yeah.
around, you know. I
I
think
used
he's
to pull
got
up to the barracks a lot when my wife was working there. Yeah.
And then he's in a new movie. I just saw a trailer recently.
Oh, really?
He shoots amazing photos, you know, real talented guy.
Yeah.
I know his son really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, his son's Pilot Lee.
Is he a skater too?
Yep. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Amazing. He's like a, you know, young filmmaker in the making.
That's so
Yeah,
cool, man.
really talented kid. Looks almost, I mean, like he's got, you know, sideburns almost like his dad did at that age.
That's
I
cool.
trip out when I see him too, because he'll do a trick. Like Jason was really known for 360 kickflips, and he'll do one. And I'm like, my friend shot a photo of him doing one because I took Pilot to Europe and he was
Damn.
working with me for a little while.
Okay.
And so I actually had a conversation with his dad and his mom because he was like 18 at the time. And he was
Mhm.
like, I had hired him to be like an assistant and kind of help me with things. And I was taking him to Europe for the first time. He had never been. And his dad was like, hey, I want to talk to you, Eric. And, you know, I'm like sitting there with a formal conversation because I'm taking his son to Europe.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know, just normal dad shit. And then he started telling me like, yeah, the first time I went there, I was his age, and like, you know, went into this long story about like, you know, about going for the first time and being
Yeah,
young
dude,
and like
yeah.
all this. And I was just blown away because I was thinking in my head, one, taking care of his son, being out there. But then two, I was like, remembering watching the footage of him being in a place like that.
Yeah.
It was just a weird
That's
moment,
crazy,
you know?
dude.
Yeah.
How much old? He's probably like my age, probably like 50s or something.
Yeah, he's probably that. Yeah, because I'm 47
Mm-hmm.
and he was probably 4 or 5 years older than me when I first saw him.
What do you think it was that attracted you to skateboarding? Like, what kind of stuff are you into before? You're only 12 at that point, so you playing
Yeah,
like,
12, 13.
sports. Like, what are you doing before that?
So I never really was attracted to sports. And I don't even know for whatever reason, you know, like
Yeah.
I think about it now and I think, well, maybe it's because, you know, skateboarding is free and you could be independent to do whatever you want to do. You could dress whatever way you want. You
Totally.
can, you know, you can go out and do it at whatever time. You don't need a court, or you don't need any coach or any
True.
of that. But, you know, I think honestly, just the fun of what looked like, you know, people just enjoy, you know, like when you're that young, it was
Yeah.
like, I first saw skateboarding, like first saw it in Back to the Future.
Okay.
you
Oh, that's
know?
right.
So like
That's
that was
right.
like my first memory of actually ever seeing it.
Damn.
And then I had gotten a Veriflex like right after that. And my actual like first real experience with it was like seeing a catalog. Like I was walking, I just remember I was walking like either from school to school, whatever it was. And I saw an old Powell Peralta like they used to do like a pamphlet which would
Yeah,
show
yeah.
their products.
Yeah.
And I saw it on the ground, and I picked it up, and I saw the Ripper, and I saw like, the Mike McGill, the Tony Hawk board, and all that, Steve Caballero and all that. And I remember like being blown away by the graphics.
Graphics are
and it was
incredible,
just so
man.
crazy. And I think I remember telling my mom something like, like showing her, and she was like, I don't think she could believe that the Tony Hawk name was real.
Yeah.
Like I think, she was like,
That's
oh, yeah.
true.
I don't even know how that even came up with her, but
Was that the Iron Cross one with the skull? The first one was like an Iron Cross.
I don't even.
Some of the art was crazy back then.
Yeah,
dude.
I think it was the one with the. Yeah, it was the
I think the first one was a Iron Cross. No.
Yeah, but I don't think it was the catalog I saw. Wasn't his first one.
Oh, okay, that's right. Yeah. But it's crazy how those images are so striking, like looking at album covers and like just reeled you in. You're like, what is this?
My favorite was the Rat Bones one.
Yes,
and it had like it had these.
I got the tattoo, the Rat Bones. Yeah.
Yeah, and it had the ripped. It looked like the whole. It was like ripped from from the sides.
Yeah.
It just looked cool. Yeah,
like
there was
shit,
like that,
dude.
and then later on I got into like seeing Santa Cruz graphics and seeing like the
hand.
Yeah.
Is that Rob Roscop?
Yeah, the Rob Roscop board.
Sick,
I remember seeing somebody on my street who had a Rob Roscop, and then seeing into those, and it was like the 1, the 2, the 3. It was the target, and then the hand coming through, and then the hand coming through further. It's like I don't even know if I like had ever seen Rob Roscop skate, but I was just like the Rob Roscop board was just so
iconic.
stunning.
I know, dude. And the Hammerhead, Christian Asoy.
Yep. Yeah.
Just all
the
that
graphics
stuff.
were so I don't know, maybe it was a bit of like the art part of it being the freedom to do whatever you wanted to do, and then I remember moving from there into a neighborhood and met one of my close friends growing up from that time, from like 13 to 15. And he was like, he skated. So he was like, like, I guess at that time, maybe I like was skating here and there, cause maybe I'd moved and didn't have any friends or something.
Yeah.
And then I remember him really getting me into it. And then it was like, and that was Gabe Fletcher, who I'm still in contact with now. I actually talked to him the other day. He does Anchorage Brewing Company.
Yeah, it's amazing.
He does a pretty well-respected brewery in Alaska.
Is he still skating?
No, he doesn't skate anymore. But
that's cool.
Funny story. He was him and this other guy who was one of the kind of legendary, little bit older people. This guy Thomas Noonan, who was friends with Gabe. So it was the three of us who got into skating. And Thomas Noonan later got into the band 36 Crazy Fists.
Oh yeah, I know that band.
So, yeah, it was like they got into Gabe. Gabe got into playing guitar, and Thomas got into playing drums, and then got into that band. Gabe and I stayed in contact, and I think I moved because I was moving a lot at the time.
Yeah.
And then he may have kind of quit skating or had done what he was doing. But the three of us had our first drink together, and
damn.
Yeah, which is a funny tie-in with
How old
him.
you got? How old are you?
Probably 13 going on 14 or something like that. Maybe somewhere the summer of 13. And then him going on to start a brewery, which is pretty funny.
Crazy, dude.
Yeah.
So your first drink, did you smoke before that, or just first? Is your first?
No, I don't think I had smoked. Yeah, probably not before that. So yeah, I just got into.
What was it? Was it just a beer?
It was his sister bought us 4 40s. So Old English, so 4 40s.
Oldies, wow, dude.
Yeah, that was probably 90. Yeah, 90.
That's a big drink too, man.
Yep, 1990. So we each had one, and then we shared the fourth one. And I was blacked out that night.
Dude, the first one probably wasted, right?
Yeah, I mean, that was my
dude.
first real experience with blacking out and like puking all night. And
wow.
Yeah.
So the first time you drank,
yep.
blacked out.
First time I
shit.
actually drank. Like I had some sips of maybe my mom's drink or something before that.
Damn.
Yeah.
You must have felt like shit the next day.
Yeah, I think I definitely.
But not enough to like be like, oh, this is terrible. I ain't doing this again.
No, I think we went out skating.
Yeah. Damn, dude.
It wasn't like when I got into my 30s and I had a hangover, and like that was
way different.
Way different.
Did you graduate from high school?
Yep.
Yeah,
I did.
But that you moved away because you went from there to Mesa, right?
Yeah. So I was in.
Like what age did you leave there?
I was in Alaska for let's see. I moved around a lot because my mom was always I guess. It wasn't the most stable, she, so I think that when I was...
Well, they got divorced too. How old were you when they got divorced?
I was about 6 or so when they got divorced. But yeah, it's an interesting story. The dad that I knew growing up wasn't my biological father. And so after my mom and the dad I knew separated, I met my stepdad. But my mom started dating a guy who ended up becoming my stepdad, who's been the longest father figure in my life.
Gotcha.
When I was 13, we were driving across the country in the lower 48 and going from Mississippi to I don't even know where. Maybe we were going back to Alaska. We stopped off and I met my biological father at 13.
Wow.
But going back to moving around and growing up in Alaska, I'd say, most of my life I grew up there. So from like birth to, back and forth to Louisiana because the dad that I knew had family in Louisiana.
Yeah.
So we were out there. So some of my early memories, 4 and 5 years old, I was there.
Okay.
And I was in Mississippi. And then we would drive back and come back to Alaska, and then I would spend some time there. And then my father that I knew passed away at 13. And then we went back to Mississippi, and I stayed there for I don't even know how many months, and started driving back and sort of landed in Phoenix.
Wow.
And then we stayed there. But in between there, I also lived in Nebraska, in Brainerd, Nebraska, where I think we talked about this last time, but I started playing football.
Yeah. Playing sports. Because
it's not shit to do in a town of like 2,000 people.
You kind of stopped skating too, right?
Yeah, I did, because it was early on and I didn't, I hadn't really formed that much of a bond with it. And so we split for whatever the months were that my mom met someone and we moved there. And when I came back to Alaska and she got back with my stepdad, then I kind of, that was when that's when I started really taking it serious and,
Damn. Were you good at football?
Yeah, I guess, in a town of a couple thousand, there's probably a handful of people that were playing quarterback and maybe I could throw a little faster than anybody or something, so yeah, I got into that.
It's so random kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, totally.
Did you like Louisiana? Do you remember enough to like him?
I think the memories I have were like riding a go-kart around and things like that. And I have good memories of my dad and stuff like that. And, and there were some relatives and my grandma was in Mississippi and,
How old was your dad when he passed?
He was 65.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So it was, yeah.
But that was when you were 13?
Yeah. So that wasn't, going back, that was was the dad that my mom was with.
Yeah, I know.
So
he's older.
Confusing, very confusing story.
It was crazy. Was 65. Okay, yeah.
Damn,
man.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild. So it's like 3 dads in the mix or 2 dads?
Yeah. 2, and then the one I never really stayed in contact
That's like my friend
with.
Chappelle. He's the exact same thing. He has like 3 dads because one was adopted, one was in prison. Yeah, it's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
That's a lot of moving around. It's a lot for a young kid, man.
Yeah, it was a lot. And, my mom, she had a difficult time being content and happy with where she was. And, so she, not by, wasn't intentional with, but it was definitely a difficult upbringing. And, and I look back on it and I think a lot about, building character and living in all these different places and
totally
Texas and all over the place. I mean, by the time I was 16, I had lived in, 10 states.
So many schools too. That's
so
crazy.
Many schools.
New schools.
Middle schools were tough,
New
like
friends.
Middle school in Texas, you got the ropers, trying to beat you up every day because you're a skateboarder and you're wherever fucking, in middle of, I forget the name of the town I lived there.
Yeah. Are the ropers the Cowboys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like you're trying to like figure out who you are,
right?
And you're moving all around. Am I a football player? Am I going to be skating? Who are my friends? Am I drinking? Am I not like?
So I became kind of a loner.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's just and I think I carried that a lot into my when I really started drinking. But which also goes back to like going to Arizona and meeting people that were skaters, and it was such a bond, and that became my family also. So and almost all of those people that when I ended up landing in Arizona, and like those are friends that I've become lifelong friends with from 14 years old, 15 to being my age now.
Yeah. So you went to high school there in Arizona?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I went to Tempe High.
And that was you that's the best part. You love that part of.
I think so, yeah. Like, because I actually, there's a few things, look, the most easy thing I think about is like, is like, oh, the weather was good, because in Alaska the weather's pretty tough.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I think the reality of it is that I actually found a group of people that I clicked with.
Mm-hmm. Find your tribe.
Yeah, and then from there, that's why I look back on that and I say like that was the most comfortable I had ever been.
Yeah, you like found your people. You like set there for a couple of years, right? Went to high school there.
Yeah. And then in high school, like at that time too, it was like 92 to 95 or whatever, whatever those years were. I graduated in 95.
Yeah.
And like I would hang out with I would hang out with whoever the outcasts were at school, but I wouldn't really even hang out with them. They were just the people that I didn't dislike.
Gotcha.
And and then my real friends went to schools that were all over the city, because back then, let's say there's still, in the early 90s, there's only a handful of people that actually do what you do and like it as much as you do.
Yeah.
So, and there was a lot more than there were in Alaska, but that was where, after school you get out and then you would take the bus, you'd meet up with them, you'd meet at a skate spot. The Wedge was like our little epicenter out there.
Yeah. Met all your friends out there, just like skating after school.
Yeah.
So skating was like everything you loved at that point. That was
that was my
focus.
life. That was 100% my life.
And were you still drinking in high school?
Yeah, but I really started drinking at about, it was high school, but it was probably about 16. That was when that was when I got into drinking, where it was like I would drink on the weekends and then like we'd go out. And I think around that age at that time in 16 to 17.
All the kids were doing that.
Yeah, that was kind of normal.
Yeah. Was your mom tripping on that or anything?
No.
Was it affecting like your grades or like school stuff? Or?
No, I did pretty well in school because it was all memorization. So for me, that was just like, I did pretty well.
Yeah. You enjoy it?
Yeah, I didn't dislike it.
Yeah.
Because it mostly came easy for me. And I just wanted to get it done. And then at that time too, like I just, I had thoughts of like, I remember before my dad passed, he was always like, I want you to be a doctor. Or I want you to be so maybe that sort of settled where at least I knew if I did well in school, I could maybe possibly follow that. But after he passed away, I never put much thought into being a doctor. I might have wanted to be an architect because I like design. And I remember taking a freshman architecture class and things like that. But I was also in choir in fucking 9th grade too. So like, it wasn't like I was really that interested in it, but, but I, like I was saying, my uncles, I've always had a knack for building.
Totally.
So I knew that there was a possibility I could do that. But, going up into the senior year, I know that was what I wanted to focus on, was move to California and like follow a career of being like a professional skateboarder.
Yeah. Did you get sponsors before you graduated, or that happened once you got to San Diego?
Well, I remember sending a sponsor me tape in when I lived in Alaska to
Mike Carroll,
to H Street. Yeah. And I got a Mike Carroll board,
That's
they
sick,
sent
dude.
that to me. And, at that time, like I was just probably a pain in the ass kid that was just calling all the time, and they probably just sent it to me to shut me up. But once I moved,
it's cool though, man.
Yeah, super cool. I got a board and my hands were shaking when I was opening it.
Dude.
And then when I moved to Arizona, I think that, it was me and about 10 other people, and we were all taking it real seriously. And I think we all had the dream of like, having our name on a board and moving to California and traveling the world and doing this, because we've been watching videos of people like Jason Lee flying up and doing demos since we were young.
Totally.
And
San Diego was kind of the mecca at that point for skateboarding?
That was definitely the mecca. It was, there was a few, like San Diego had had Trans World and had some of the magazines, and a lot of the industry was there. LA had, some of the industry for like some of the skateboard production. San Francisco had Thrasher and some of the things like that. And then there was the East Coast ones like New York and Philly, and they had like their scene, and Chicago. And so, but like, I think that globally maybe in the early mid 90s, San Diego was the mecca.
Okay. I didn't realize Transworld was there. I know San Francisco was Thrasher. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great. So that was just like, did you know some people out there?
Yeah, there was, well,
because you're still a kid, you're in high school. It's like,
yeah. So I think towards the like last year, maybe senior year in high school, I think that Jamie and some of the Toy Machine crew came out to Arizona, and then me and Scotty became friends with them. So I think that by the time we ended up, having, like the plans to move to California, we at least had like a little bit of a foundation of some people we knew.
Yeah.
And then one of our close friends, Shane Heil, was from Long Beach. So he had grown up in Long Beach and moved to Arizona. So he already knew, by growing up there, he had known a bunch of people in Long Beach. So by the time we ended up moving to San Diego, we had a little bit of and then skating was still relatively like it still is a close community.
Totally.
So anybody that's sponsored or knows somebody, it's like you immediately tap into that.
Yeah. Were you doing, you entering contests or anything like that in Arizona?
I never did. Well, I did here and there,
Yeah.
but by nature, I'm super nervous when I get into those situations,
Yeah.
and I never overcame that fear. Like,
Okay.
so for me, contests were like, one, I think about this in a way that it's the opposite of why I'm doing this. You know, like I love to do it because I do it however I do it.
Yeah.
Like, right. So a contest is like, well, you're placed under the gun of a minute. You got to do your best tricks.
Yeah.
And so I think that I made the excuse that it was the antithesis of the way that I like to do it.
Yeah.
But really the reason is I didn't excel at it, you know, or else I would have been doing them and you know, entering contests. Like it wasn't like a bad thing. You know,
Yeah.
I just made that reason up, you know, which is legit too. You know, like nobody's going to tell me what to do,
Totally.
when to do it. I'm not going to put on a show for you, you know, like or whatever.
Were you were filming stuff in high school too, though?
Yeah.
Skate stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And were you getting like a name for yourself too before you went to San Diego?
Yeah, I guess
In
so.
Arizona, I guess?
Yeah, probably among a small
Reputation.
crowd. You know,
Yeah.
because at 16, 17 years old.
Were you doing stuff that nobody was doing at that point?
Maybe a little bit, but not quite at that point. I don't think that, you know, I don't think that I was doing anything that was extraordinary.
Okay.
And in fact, I don't think that anybody noticed that I was doing anything extraordinary. Even when Jamie and that crew had come out to, to visit Panama Dan and all these people, you know, I remember Jamie was asking, he was starting a brand at the time, and he asked my close friend Scott to ride for his company.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't, you know, like I didn't get on because he was like excited about the way I skated.
Your boy put the word in for you.
Scotty was like, hey, if I, you know, because we started a company in Arizona called Balance.
Okay.
So it was always kind of in our nature to like start, you know, I think that's part of skateboarding and all that is like you customize and alter your clothes. You alter your, you know,
sure.
it's always about
Soy
kind of a
doing
DIY thing.
Yeah.
And that's just the nature of it. It's like, you know, it's your art form, and that's the way you're communicating with people is by your tricks and by the, you know, by style.
Totally.
And so, we started a company called Balance, and it was like a group of 6 or 7 people, and we were doing some of the graphics, and it was a really small company. You know, we maybe produced 100 boards, but we were both riding for that company, and it wasn't anything serious. It was serious to us, but it wasn't as far as a company goes. And so when Jamie had asked Scotty to ride for the company he had later started, which was Zero,
yes.
You know, Scotty said, "Oh, well, I won't do it unless Erik comes along with me." And he knew that was part of my dream too. And we were both planning on moving to California together.
It's a good friend.
So yeah, he really he opened up the door for me by doing that.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
And we talked a little bit this last time, but like about just Soy, just his style too. Like obviously he's an incredible skater, but he had like the flash and the cut off sleeves and the shit tied around his waist and the way he like, I don't know, just hair, just I don't know.
Yeah, it was also
the whole package.
He was doing tricks that were exceptional, but it was also the way he was doing it.
Yeah.
You know, so like, and that's the beauty of skateboarding. It's how you do it, not necessarily what you're doing.
Totally.
And like, you know, a lot of probably my favorite skaters and your favorite skaters growing up, it was how they did it. And it was, and that's
style.
like, like you can have a favorite that's different from my favorite. And like, that was, you know, I mean, that was exciting. So
many
watching a Soy, like,
dude,
just blast. It was, dude. Yeah. Like, and then talking about, you know, some of the people like that were our, you know, people we looked up to, like Nodis, Gons, you know, people even like that I later became friends with, like Ed Templeton and you know, these.
I love Neil Blender.
And
so cool. All his artwork and stuff.
Board,
and
the
boards.
coffee break, and
dude.
Yeah, there's those graphics are so ingrained in us, you know, like seeing those over those years.
Jeff Grasso.
Yeah, Jeff Grasso.
Tom Grahost. There was so many skaters back then. There was so many to choose from. Right? You could pick your own.
Yeah.
There's like one that's like not too crazy or scary. There's one that's like kind of perfect and pretty. There's like all different styles of skateboarders.
Yeah, and it felt
ones
like
that's safe. Then
felt like their graphics represented them in a way.
Jeff Kendall.
Jeff Kendall. Yeah, I remember a friend of mine learned how to kickflip on a Jeff Kendall board.
Damn.
Yeah.
What was the big Jeff Phillips?
Jeff Phillips,
Incredible bonelesses, dude.
I
all
went to
that.
his skate park when I lived in Texas. He had a Jeff Phillips skate park in Dallas.
He was a big dude too, right?
Yeah.
Dude, with the big ass triple knee pads and the backside bonelesses and all that. Dude, it was so sick. I used to love watching all that, man.
Yeah.
And then Chris Miller.
Yep.
I felt underrated back then. He was incredible. Dude, he was so sick.
Yep.
But everybody had their own style. You're right, man.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and the graphics. I remember seeing. Like you could see the Lucero on the wall.
Yeah.
Like you remember those with that like monster getting through the bars.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of those. Even even the just Tommy Guerrero's the dagger.
Guerrero.
Like the flames around the dagger.
Yep.
The art was just so special. It was exceptional.
Mike Vallely.
Yeah, Mike Vallely. I remember his first Powell board, and then when he went to World Industries, and that was the next era was when like World Industries and all those brands like Real and Jim Thiebaud and
best.
Jim Thiebaud is an amazing guy.
There's so much crazy you're right. It's like when you think about there's so many visuals for skateboarding besides like your skill set, right? Like you're talking about.
Yeah. And then you think like, what were some of the first skateboard videos you saw and what was the music that went to them? Because mine was like Savannah Slamma, and then you had like, there was.
Mine's Bones Brigade 1.
Yeah. But the music, it was a big part of it.
Totally.
How the music went to the skateboarding.
Totally.
And so that was what made it, there was a magic in that. And
the Skate Rock cassettes, all those old
bands,
right.
Mick
Rad, Faction, Big Boys. I learned so much just from those cassettes they put out. Thrasher put them out.
Yeah.
But then later on, like when 90s and stuff, it got more hip hop in the skate videos as well.
Yeah, totally. Which was like,
that
exactly. Like some of the SF like hip hop groups that came out,
Mm-hmm.
like Dell, Casual, like all that. That was all introduced to me through skateboarding.
Yeah.
Everything was.
Yeah. It's cool. I love that because I grew up in hip hop, so I was always wondering like when would that connect, and just finally did later on.
Yeah. And Thrasher was a big part of that.
Totally.
Because it was like there's always that towards the end of the magazine they would always feature like a musician.
You're right. They did. That's right.
And it would interview them or the group or whoever it was. It was just. I think that. Even though I don't skate as much as I used to, it's the foundation for everything that was built in my life.
Totally. It's how you see the world. It's how everything, how you create all that stuff.
Yep.
It's inspirations, everything you're doing now in your adult life, everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Everything is through the lens of that.
It's great. Also, I feel like skateboarders see the world different, obviously, because we see things, we talked about this on the other one, but whatever, you see a park bench, you see rails, you see stairs, you see those as like something you can create on. Other people see it as you have to walk down or sit on. It's just how you see the world is so amazing.
Yeah, they're like it's like there's an affection, you see it, you see the materials,
There's respect too.
You see the, it's like you recognize different types of marble and concrete and like the way that, so almost like in a weird way, like a lot of skaters are almost like architects in their own, their own way, because
it's true.
That translates into, it goes into everything in life, right? The way that you look at, when you're introduced to you go to a new town, a new city, the way you look at that, you're looking at it through the eyes of how can you skate it?
Yeah.
And, I'm so grateful, man, that I got into it. I really am.
Yeah. And so you moved to San Diego. How old are you then? Like 17, 18?
No, I was 18. So I had graduated.
Had you been living away from home at that point already?
No, let's see.
Still
Let me go back into that time. So, our house burned down and I was living in the Balance office, which is the company we started.
Wow.
So for part of my senior year, I was living in the Balance office. And then I graduated and, we were there for another maybe 8 months while my close friend, Scotty Kopelman that I mentioned earlier, went for a year of college because his parents made him go to college. So in order for him to move to California, he had to do that.
I respect
and
it.
so I think maybe 6 months into that, I moved into his place. So I was living with his parents. And then
how'd your house burn down? Was everything in there? All your whole?
Yeah, all of our stuff. But it's a complicated story with my mom. But regardless, It burned down.
Who was living in the house? Just you and your mom?
Yeah.
Damn.
I think maybe a boyfriend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of her boyfriends.
Gotcha.
Named Mark.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
But you guys were, everybody's safe. Everybody was good.
Yeah. Everybody was good. Everyone was out of the house.
But there's
conveniently.
definitely some suspect shit going on. You can't talk about. That's all good.
Yeah.
Something
but,
happened
my
there,
mom
yeah.
has always been creative.
Okay. We call it creative. Okay.
Yeah.
Different kind of creative than you are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But she is very in her own right, man. I learned a lot from her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn, the house burned down. That's crazy. Dude.
Yeah.
It's traumatic.
Yep. So I got really close with Scotty's family, and Sheila and Lee were his parents, and moved in with him, and then we eventually moved to San Diego.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was 18. You know, it was around there.
Must have been exciting though.
It was super exciting. It was like
Just to get away, get out, and just
Yeah,
go
yeah.
to this mecca.
when you leave, to follow a passion, and you actually are doing that.
Totally.
It's I was living out my dream.
But you weren't you weren't getting paid to skate. Nothing yet. You just go
No,
there.
not
Had
at
money
that
saved
time.
up or something, and just
We did a job. Scotty and I worked a couple of. We did some like day labor style jobs
okay.
where you
Okay.
you go in and just do whatever the
instruction or something.
different job every day.
Okay.
Some miscellaneous type shit.
Just saving up money.
Yeah, saving up, and then we
Damn.
painted Scotty's house, which we did a horrible job, I think, but his parents gave us a couple $100 and
Awesome.
did that.
Very nice of them.
Yeah, it was really nice of them.
So
Yeah.
you only have probably not much money. You're just gonna.
I think we
for
probably had maybe $800 each.
Damn,
Yeah.
dude.
And then we got our first apartment. We moved in with like 2 other people. And yeah, we had
And
a
it's just
place
like-
right in San Diego. We were downtown, and
Yeah.
it was I actually looked at it on Google the other day on maps, and it's the place is still there. It was like it was in a neighborhood. They had these what were large houses at one point, and they converted them all into like multiplex type places.
Yeah.
So this one had, I think, maybe 6 apartments in it, mostly studios.
Yeah.
And we moved into a studio, and then yeah.
And how
it
you
was,
surviving? Just hustling
day
just
to
like,
day. Yeah.
Jeez,
Sell some
dude.
skateboards here and there. You'd live off $5 a day. Yeah.
Fuck.
And then
And your goal is just to get sponsored out there and just get.
Yep. And at that time we had the connection with with some of the people that were already established out there.
Mhm.
And Shane ended up getting a job at one of the brands, so he was silk screening boards in the daytime.
Okay.
And then at that time Jamie Thomas was starting his brand, and
Yep.
so we were going out every day filming with him. And then eventually he put out one of the first Zero videos, and that was when
Thrill of it all.
Thrill of it all,
1997.
And at that
Wow.
point, I wasn't a professional skateboarder. I didn't have my name on a board.
Yep.
And none of us did. And at
You're
that
uncredited
point,
in that one. Yeah, you're uncredited, but you're in it. Correct.
I'm in it. Yeah. Well, I got credit for it, but I
Okay.
just wasn't. I didn't have like I didn't have the pro board or anything at that
Okay.
point, because you got to earn your way to that.
Totally.
And I at that time, I was kind of new. I'd been around for maybe a year, and I also was getting heavy into drinking and partying and all that. So there was an ultimatum kind of after that video, which was if you don't do what you're out here, what I'm giving you boards
Yeah.
to do, then you're not going to get boards from the company anymore.
Damn.
And that's like, it's basically like you're going to get fired from your job.
Yeah. Did that
And
work?
I never looked at skateboarding as a job at that time,
Mhm.
but it was like shit. Yeah. It kicked me into gear, like
Snapped you out for a minute about it.
yeah, because, my dream was that,
Totally.
like my dream was always that. And when I moved to San Diego, it was so exciting to be in a place where you're in that environment, and there's, you moved away from home, and
Yeah.
parties left and right, and there's like all these things to do, and you're in California. I mean, like,
Yeah.
it's different. And so I think that my dream sort of took a back seat to the behavior that went along with that. And I took more advantage of the drinking and partying than I was skateboarding. So when
Yeah.
that happened, when I got that ultimatum, I was like, okay, let me take this seriously and at least do. And so I really did. And I think that the next video part showed that. And that's when I turned pro.
Yeah. Misled youth. Correct.
Yeah.
1999. So did you kind of slow down the drinking and stuff and really just focus on it?
Yeah, I focused on skating for the last month of that video, and I basically stopped drinking for a month.
Wow. Okay.
And I filmed that video part, pretty much the whole of my part of it in a month.
Damn.
And then after that, I was like, well, now it's time to celebrate. So I got back into drinking. So,
damn, until the next part, right?
Until the next part. And then I kind of developed this way of doing it where I would go in periods like stints. I would take time and I would just go, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it as best I can. And then it got to the point where I think maybe I just kept doing it and sort of just was doing it and still being able to maybe film and stuff.
Did people start not writing you off, but people were like, oh, this guy's always drunk, like we can't, he's not
people
responsible
definitely
or something
knew
like
I
that?
wasn't responsible. That's for sure.
I can't count on him.
But I still like, my at least the video parts and the interviews and my job as a skateboarder always got taken care of.
Yeah, you did that.
So I still did that to the best of the ability.
Totally.
I probably could have done it a lot better.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, it was who I had developed my, that was part of who I was, part
of your personality.
That was part of my personality.
Identity.
I was drinking and I was like, some of the people that I looked up to, that's the way they did it.
Yeah.
Whatever it was, if it was like, what I looked at as what a, what a pro skateboarder, did as they, to me, it was like a rock star life.
Totally.
And so, to me, that was part of it. And I could have probably taken it more seriously.
It's like, it's just what you do. This is what I do. I drink and I skate.
That's what I do.
And people knowing you for that. So if you were kind of not fucked up, it might be kind of weird.
Yeah.
They would expect you to be like the crazy guy at the party or something.
When we'd show up, to demos and things like that, once again, I didn't like being under pressure to do things. So I would just start drinking with the people that were there. And that became like a way I would, it was easier for me to be able to communicate and socialize with alcohol.
Totally.
So like, it made my job
easier. Gave you
easier.
confidence and stuff and like not being nervous.
And, like it was like I became, the people person, so that would be, like if I wasn't, maybe performing, skating at whatever event that I was at, I was just hanging out. Like, that was part of it. That's just who I was. But I also always enjoyed, even though it took alcohol to get to that point, I've always enjoyed the communication developing into something that, learning and becoming friends with someone. So like I've always, I guess maybe I was stunted when I was younger, but I recognize that I always like to end up being a social person.
Yes.
It just alcohol was the gateway that got me there.
Yeah.
And then once I stopped drinking, I realized that, that I am okay with talking to people and I'm not less than what I am.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's crazy because you've been like that since you were 13, 14.
Since
drinking
as long as I can remember.
That's all you knew how to like.
And maybe the alcoholism or whatever it is me being displaced constantly as a kid. The only way that I knew how to cope with that was alcohol and drugs.
Yes.
So.
And when did the piss drunk start? Was that a crew from Arizona?
That was formed in Huntington Beach. And so when we moved from San Diego up to Huntington Beach, we ended up meeting up with another clique of skateboarders.
And why'd you move to Orange County?
One of my friends, Aaron Piercy, actually was living there, and he was from Arizona. And I wasn't super close with him in Arizona. Yeah. But then when we started talking and he was in Huntington Beach, he was like, you guys should move up here. And then we became pretty close after that.
Okay.
And so
was there a big skate scene there too?
There was a big skate scene there too, because a lot of the brands were based out of Huntington Beach. Okay. And so when we moved up there, we kind of joined with another group of people, and that was Andrew Reynolds, Jim Greco, Brian Sumner, a bunch of other people. And that's when we all, even though we may have been in 3 or 4 different apartments, they were all within a few blocks of each other. So we would always just skate in the daytime, drink at night, and it's not like we were going to events or parties or anything like that. I can't even count maybe the number of times we actually went to a real bar is only on one hand. Yeah. We just drank by ourselves with that group of 10 or 15 people. Yeah. And that was it. Like we you
want to run in the streets going crazy and just
what people saw in that, and I think why the piss drunks and because we would skate well when we did.
Okay.
You know, and I think like, you know, we had already earned a reputation of being, you know, good at skateboarding or whatever. So a photographer, and, you know, they would come to the house and there would be this group of 10, 15 people that all were doing something well, but then partying pretty hard on the side at night. And so for people like Ed Templeton, and he was living down the street at the time, and he was, I think, sober, he was always sober.
Yeah.
He would come over and see the wild nights and just be like, fuck, this is crazy. And almost vicariously live through that, and then go out and skate with us in the daytime. And Ed was always documenting that, which was really cool, because at the time nobody was documenting the in-between moments. It was only the skateboard tricks that got shot.
For sure.
So looking back on like Ed's archive, you know, and the shows that he has now about that period of time in skateboarding, it's really interesting, because like it wasn't what people would make a priority to shoot at the time.
Yeah.
But it was like what someone would call lifestyle now, you know?
So BTS.
Yeah, like that's what it was.
And
the videos on top of the personalities on top, you know, like, so the talent plus the personality and all of those things, then people started to recognize that. And then, you know, like, and us getting worse and worse and worse became almost, you know, more attention got put to that.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
So because you had the reputation of that. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's when there was a Rolling Stones article or whatever that came out and highlighted the piss drunks, and then everybody was writing it on their boards, and then it became a thing, and then, you know, there was all this, you know, and it was cool because we were part of a clique, and I think a lot of us had similar stories to me.
Totally.
You know, we were outcasts growing up, and then we had found this family, and so our family was that.
Yeah.
And then you know, years later, you know, slowly, you know, people get sober, or, you know, awful things happen.
Yeah.
And,
how old were you when you moved to Orange County?
Let's see. That was 1990, I'd say 98, 99.
Okay.
So I was in like 96 to 98. I was in San Diego.
Yeah.
And then, so, you know, 98 to 2000 or 99, somewhere around there. And then we moved up to Hollywood.
Damn.
Moved straight into the heart of it, the belly of the beast.
Right into Hollywood, dude.
Yeah.
And why Hollywood?
Well,
you're already pro at that time too, right?
Yeah. So we're
you're making a living skating, all that shit.
Oh yeah. And it was more than a living. I at the time I couldn't even think of, and I wasn't, put it in context, I wasn't making that much money.
Okay.
But for me, I couldn't imagine how I could even spend all this, you know.
Wow.
And this is under $100,000. This is probably $40,000 or $50,000. And I'm like, how the hell would I, you know?
Yeah.
For me, it's like I was buying watches, I was buying fucking new, you know, nice shoes, and like
you were living.
I was living the dream.
Damn.
And so I think me and my friend Andrew, we were partying one night, and this is when we were getting into like coke and things like that.
Oh,
we were in LA and Hollywood.
And that's later on. Yeah.
This was probably in the late 90s, maybe 99. And we came up to Hollywood, and we were partying with some girl, Rita. She's awesome. She actually maybe reached out, DM'd me recently.
Oh, that's cool.
You know, and we ended up staying at her apartment, and she lived right by Raji's, which is a bar by, it was on, I think Sunset and Western, right over by the 101.
Okay.
And we woke up and we were like, what the fuck are we doing in Huntington Beach? And so I think LA or Hollywood was an extension of what we were doing and our lifestyle at the time.
Especially the partying too, that time.
The partying, the skating, like, you know, and Huntington is a relatively small town, and there's not a lot going on in that town. And I think it just and so, you know, when we got back, it was like, okay, let's all start looking for an apartment up there. And then, you know, Andrew and Jim got an apartment. I got one with Alyssa Steamer, and I think it was in that apartment, I forget who it was, maybe Scotty, Alyssa, Mike Maldonado. There's a couple of us in it.
Damn.
Yeah. So,
were you coming back up and forth skating in Hollywood anyway, or no?
Yeah, we were at the time.
Yeah,
we would come up to, you know, Beverly High and skate some of those spots. These were like some of the famous, like, skating downtown LA and like the Library Gap.
Hollywood High too?
Yep. Hollywood High.
Stairs.
Yeah. Hollywood High, LA High. And so, I mean, we were pretty much coming up all the time anyway. And it was like, well, the combination of it being kind of a little bit faster paced. Yeah. Maybe that made it
especially because you guys are partying and adding the coke and all that shit too.
Yeah. Where to go for it, you know?
So did you ever like worry about getting like lose your sponsors for being a party guy, or that was part of your identity, so people knew that anyway? He's going to come rip this and kill this and film this and do this interview, but It's not really affecting your job at that time, I guess.
Yeah, it wasn't affecting it. It definitely could have been better, but you
Maybe
know,
that, yeah.
but it was. I think when things are good, you know, and you're able to do your job, and if I think about it in the context of, you know, being 22, 20 something years old, you could party all night and you could still function the next day. So
Totally.
what we were doing was, it was like, well. And I remember somebody telling me this a long time ago. Maybe it was Rick Kosick or somebody who used to shoot for Big Brother and went on to shoot for Jackass. He came down and he was coming from LA at the time. And I remember it was him, I'm pretty sure. But he's like, you know, he said, you guys are burning the candle at both ends. And at the time, in my early 20s, I was like, I can get what you mean by that. I get the analogy of that or whatever, but I'll never burn out, you know, because you're young, you know.
Totally.
I was like, maybe that'll happen to someone else.
Yeah.
You know? But eventually it will. It will. And I think everybody, you know, Jim and Andrew got sober early on. And, you know, it took me until I was 37 years old.
Crazy.
I managed to keep it together somehow.
Were you one of the last ones from that crew?
There's a couple people that are still doing it.
Okay.
And yeah, I guess, you know, Shane ended up getting sober. You know, Scotty ended up getting sober. Maybe Scotty was a little shortly after, maybe right around the same time as me. You know, and that was 10 and a half years ago. And
crazy, man.
Yeah. It was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Yeah.
You know, this is like, you know, I definitely wouldn't have the life I have now. And you know, yeah, there's so many things that I'm grateful
so
for.
Many positives,
you know,
man.
So many positives.
Yeah. But was it a rock bottom moment?
Yeah, there was. So I was married when I was 22.
Yep.
21, 22 years old. I had my son when I was 26, 25, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And I was still, like, before that, you know, after getting married, when some of my friends were, you know, going real hard, I was still managing to, because having a wife and all that, I was like, I would party real hard, but then I'd lay off, and I'd party real hard and then lay off.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like it was like an extended way of doing it. And so my rock bottom was, I was out, you know, out of the state, doing like a meet and greet kind of thing. And I was, you know, went back to the hotel bar and got in a bar fight.
Oh, there's a Colorado one.
Yeah, this is the Colorado one. Yeah. Went back. So this is the rock bottom here.
Yeah, this is gnarly.
And so I got in a bar fight, and
was somebody you knew or just a random person?
Random guy. Yeah. What I later found out was that they were all part of a wedding party, and it was a bunch of you know, railroad guys and
just normal civilians,
but bigger civilians.
Okay, bigger.
And
wanted to fight. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, it's typical shit. You know, the guy talks shit, and then you hit him with a glass, and then you know, it cut the guy pretty bad, and
had to go to the hospital with the guy.
Yeah.
So come in the neck.
Yeah.
Oh my God, let's write about this. This is
And
crazy.
So let's see. I mean, I remember it vividly. You know, then his whole team, you know, whooped on me for a little bit.
So after that.
And I went up to the room.
Were you by yourself down there?
No, I was with two other guys. You know, one, Brian Herman, who is
Did they get whooped on too or no?
No, they sort of, you know, it was mostly focused on
it probably happened
me,
pretty fast.
You know, because you know, I was the one who was, you know, like, I think I initially started it. So, you know, and then, you know, another guy, John Dixon. So it was the three of us there, and they were helping out as much as they could. But Brian weighs probably 120 pounds, and John is a very strong guy. But you know, there's nothing we could, you know, there's nothing we could do with a.
Are you totally wasted?
I wasn't totally wasted, but I definitely.
Do you know what happened? Once it happened, you realized you did that?
Yeah, once it happened, I realized, and I got out and I got to the room, and you know, this is how delusional I was. I had gotten into, you know, plenty of fights before that. And you never really take it seriously, you know, you think that the damage you do isn't as severe as it is.
Yeah. Did you see the blood, like when you hit him and stuff?
I was covered in blood. Yeah, I was,
fuck,
you know,
dude.
and the guy was, you know, he was moving quick. You know, he was doing damage on his own still, you know, like
After that.
So it wasn't like I disabled him completely.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but yeah, it was a bloody fucking mess. And when I got up to the room, I knew that it was serious, but I just, I remember lighting up a cigarette and just sitting there and like, you know, kind of like thinking like, all right, you know, like I'm up in the room, I'm safe from, you know, whatever's happening. And then I started seeing from the room, I started seeing police cars and ambulances coming to the bottom.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah. And then, you know, then the police, you know, opened the door and,
they came up to your room. They knew it.
Yep. They came up to the room and I got arrested, put in jail, charged with first-degree felony assault with a deadly weapon.
Holy shit, dude!
And I didn't know the severity of it. I had no idea. I thought, hey, let me throw a couple $1,000s at this. You know, like that's. Did
you sober up quick when the cops came in the room? You're like, oh shit, this is real.
Yeah. And I was, you know, I was still popping off too. You know, like I was, you know, just saying dumb shit. Yeah. You know, like because I grew up skating. Cops don't like. I'm saying shit to the cops, you know, like so the whole thing. Yeah, it's not a good scene. And so I spent the night in jail. Fortunately, my partner in Baker Boys, Jim Greco and Shane Heil, they put the bond together and bailed me out, which was challenging because nobody wanted to give them that because of, you know, being from California. I was a flight risk and all this other stuff. So we were able to do that. And then, you know, a month into it, I was hearing from, you know, I was hearing from people that was like, yeah, you're going to go back to trial. And I saw, you know, I had seen the police report. I saw what the charges were, but I still it didn't resonate with me how serious it was. Yeah. Until I went back out there to go to court for one of the appearances that I had to do.
How long after? Like, how long was the gap?
Probably 2-3 weeks that I had to return.
Okay.
And when I returned, I was staying with a friend, Patrick Toulouse, and his girlfriend was a paralegal. And she said, I'm going to run this by because this looks pretty serious. And when she came back and she said, this is not like a lawyer trying to get money from you. This is somebody from the company that I work for. And they're saying this is extremely serious. So what it ended up being was in Colorado, it carries like, you know, first-degree felony assault with a deadly weapon carries a mandatory sentencing. And I can recall it was like 15 to 34 years, 16 to 34 years. It was something really serious. And you have to serve, and all the research I did afterward, it was like, you have to serve a midway point of that. So you have to serve like 20 to 25 years. When you first
years, your heart dropped? Like you freaking out?
It dropped. I mean, I was like, wait, like, hold on. Like, let's see if we can is there a way to figure this out? Like, is there any amount of money I could just pay?
Did you feel like you were invincible in a sense because
absolutely
who you were, what you did, your money, all that
I've gotten out of everything my entire life.
No consequences.
I've never had any consequences for that. Okay. Right? Like, because I was living a rock star life of being able to do what I could do wherever I went, getting away with it, being enabled behavior, not like, you know, that was the way I lived my life.
Yeah.
And this was, we're
back on the podcast. This guy's getting a serious story. Okay. So you find out what the possibilities are of like how long it actually could be in jail. It's a serious crime. Yeah.
So I find out that there's no escaping what those charges are. If I'm, you know, if I go to trial, you can't
get it down. I
can't get it down. Mm-hmm. And even going down to second degree, I'm still facing, you know, I'm still facing time in prison. And at that point I have 2 kids. You know, my daughter's, you know, 2 years old. Yeah. You know, my son's 5. And then I come back to California, and it was like my world sunk. And I was taking sleeping pills. I was drinking, and like, you know, I don't think that I was suicidal, but you know, I was definitely at a low. It was a very, very dark place because,
sure, man.
And so, you know, it's really emotional for me because it's like, you know, it was the hardest part of my life that I had ever experienced. My dad passed away. There were so many things, you know, my mom was in a car accident. Our house burned down. There was all these really crazy things that had happened in my life.
Yeah.
And, you know, being displaced, all these different things. And this was one where my freedom, my life is in jeopardy here.
Yes.
All all for some stupid fucking thing that I did.
Yeah.
You know, and I could have killed that guy. It would have been a slight difference in the way that I hit him. I could have killed him.
Yeah.
And so when I went back for the next, you know, like arraignment or not arraignment,
it's the third time going. That's the third
going
time.
back.
Okay.
At that point, I had hired and I had a very successful career where I had saved up a good amount of money.
Totally.
And I was able to hire a very professional legal team in Colorado. And that legal team, they went to work. And over the next 14 months, which is what we were doing, is preparing for trial. They had private investigators that, you know, like there was a lot of things that were happening. And, you know, like there was a deep dive into this person's life and, you know, the people that were involved on the other side of that fight.
Okay.
And like, you know.
Did they start the fight? I didn't even ask you that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Started it as maybe up for debate.
Did they swing on you first?
He slapped me in the back.
Okay, yeah.
And
put his hand on you.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. And so that to me was starting a fight.
Yep.
In this stage I'm in right now in life, that's not starting a fight.
Nah.
But maybe to my kids or to somebody, you know.
Yeah, but back then, like smack you in the back and you would just, plus you were already drinking, you know what I mean? It's like,
it was time.
If that happened now, I'd be like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. Because you know the severity of something is that
and
you can kill.
And you have a lot to lose.
You
have a whole. You're a grown adult with kids, and
you also realize how precious life is too. You know, like anything can happen. And
you can punch somebody in the face and they can fall down and hit their head and die. Man.
Absolutely,
I see that shit all the time. It's so scary. Dude.
It just happens. You can get beat to a pulp and live, and then you can fucking get hit one time and get knocked down and die.
Yeah.
So. The firm that I hired, a lady named Iris Eton, she was suggesting that I do that I go into a 12-step program and I get signatures and I go into anger management and I do these and I have people write testimonials about my character and my life and things like that. And so, you know, the first couple of weeks, I think I was like, you know, sure, I'll go get some signatures and try and I'll do whatever it takes, really. You know, if I need to get signatures and pretend like I'm sober or something, I'll do that. And, you know, what I did was I ended up not drinking for a week, or I ended up not drinking for the day and then the next day and then the next day. Mm-hmm. And I put a week on top of another week. And then my birthday was a few days later. And I was like, well, let me just get to my birthday and then maybe I'll celebrate for some fucking odd reason.
Another celebration,
Yeah. And then so for that, I got to that and I didn't drink. And I started stacking a little bit of time on top of a little bit of time and going back and forth to Colorado. And because there was a lot of, it's more than I even need to explain because it's just a bunch of unnecessary facts about the DA changing and all this different stuff. So having to go back, and Iris and her team did a fantastic job. And they, towards the end of the 14 months, and we were very
the longest 14 months of your life.
They were so long, man. Every moment that I thought of something that was in the future of my life, whether it was, what my kids' graduation or, just anything that you were thinking of that was what we were going to do that summer maybe, or
anything in the future.
Anything in the future.
Yeah, I'd be losing my
It would just
emotional.
drop. I would drop.
Dude.
And so, that was the hardest 14 months, the darkest 14 months, but also at the same time, the most transformative.
Yeah.
And so I stayed sober through that whole process. Right. And when we, at the end of everything, we were able to take a plea and we were able to do, two lesser degree felony counts.
Yeah, 5 years probation.
Yeah. And so those both held prison. They held prison time that was associated with them, but they didn't hold mandatory prison time. So it was, even at the last minute, it was still up to the judge. So we actually didn't go to trial, which my lawyer said, Iris said, she said, you have about a 75% chance to win this. And I'm just like, I'll take the plea. I'll take, for me, I'll take 6 years. Like I'll be okay with that.
Yeah.
Because the other option is that I don't.
Yeah.
And I get the full sentencing. I can't do that. Right. So anyway.
And you started training too with Casey.
I was training with Casey doing Muay Thai. And so, I needed to prep myself.
You're getting prepared, dude.
Yeah, I was getting prepared. Because I knew what I was about to go into was something that, I had no idea.
It must have changed how you were too, as like, not saying it was bad, but you're a husband and a father at the time too. So you're trying to hold it together on that end, let alone not bring this stress into the house. They're probably all worried about it too. Do the kids know what's going on at that point too?
The kids didn't know what was going on at the time,
good.
But my marriage was coming to an end at that time too.
Okay.
So there was a couple of different factors, right? There was a marriage coming to an end.
Yeah.
There was this new, who knows what's going to happen with the rest of my life. And then there's 2 young kids in the mix. And then we had just recently started, a few years, maybe a year prior, 2 years prior to that, we had started Baker Boys Distribution. Yep. So we had we had a skate company. I had, I was a part owner of Supra footwear. So my career as a whole was going really well.
It's doing great.
And, so all of that was like, God, it just came to a screeching halt. And, and we ended up, the judge had leniency with me. And, some of these things like Jim Theobald had wrote a beautiful letter about, the testimonial to my character, people, his founder, one of the partners at Supra had written a letter, all the people in the industry had written, it was 20 or so letters that I had submitted. I had 14 months. I kept all my chips and, and I had done anger management. And, what was really, this is total sidebar. We can cut this out if you, but I was at anger management here in LA.
Okay.
And I remember going and at the time I also lived next to a judge. My house was directly next to a judge. And I remember telling him everything.
Getting advice from him.
Yeah. And he was like, and I remember he was a retired judge. He was probably 75 at the time. And he told me, he's like, man, Colorado's tough. If you'd have done that here in LA, I don't think you'd be having a problem right now.
Wow.
Which was really interesting because then when I went to anger management, I was listening to a guy who went to a dealership because anger management is, it's kind of counseling. You're talking to somebody, you're telling them and it's a group, there was maybe 5, there was maybe 10 some nights. And I remember hearing a guy, I kind of told my story, I'm sharing about, this and that and going, a guy slapped me in the back and I hit him with the head with a glass and everybody's okay. This guy says, I walked into the dealership and, I didn't like the guy. So I just beat him and I beat him and beat him and beat him. And I beat him and he was on the floor and he was saying, I was just kind of like, shit. Okay. He said there was, I went to do my thing. And I asked, well, what, he said there was security footage of everything.
Damn.
Right. Walked into a dealership and beat the guy nearly to death. And he didn't do any time. And he was in anger management because that's all they referred him to. And I was just crazy, like, fuck. Dude. Well, so anyway, like it's kind of it's a nonsense story, but it just shows the difference between Colorado building prisons. It's an industry.
Yeah.
This is a fucking business.
Yeah.
Right. And for the DA or for these people, these are notches for them. They're earning their way up. And I'm not saying what I did wasn't wrong.
Yeah.
But the system can be very fucked.
Totally.
Right? And with this is not news to anybody,
but
I experienced it firsthand where it was like, I'm going to just be an example of just, hey, skateboarder, out of towner, wild guy comes to town, does this.
Yeah.
Hey, we got him. We got this guy.
We got one. Yeah.
And, so anyway.
That's scary though, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when do you hear that everything's like, when do you hear what's going to happen to you? You're not in court. So it's
we flew out, and we did, which was the not the trial with the jury, but the trial with the judge. And and he went through everything, and man, I remember him going like, I'm going to charge you with these 2 felonies that the DA is suggesting here, but I'm not going to suggest prison time for you. It looks like you have I forget his exact wording.
Done the work to be better? Or?
Yeah, it was along the lines of, it looks like you have attempted to become a better person, and it looks like you have remained sober through this. And so, they gave me 5 years probation. They gave me the 2 felony counts, and I came back and I had to do my probation, and I did my stuff, and I kept checking in, and I was on time with all that, and I was taking it seriously.
Yeah, how's probation? Like, what is that? What is that for the list? Like, what does that mean? You have to check in with your dude every PO?
You got a PO, and you just go up to the courthouse
every month, or just every week. Mine was
once a week.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would go in, in person, and I would check in. So, and you get, you do a phone call. So you'd call an automated system that would say, like, it's just so you make sure you're not out of town that week.
Okay.
So you'd call the automated system. It might say you're there tomorrow. It might say call back tomorrow.
Okay.
And so then you'd go in, you'd check in with them, and then you'd leave.
Can I get evaluated to see how you're doing and stuff like that?
They don't do much evaluation there.
Okay.
No. I mean,
Wow.
maybe they're skilled at it, but the PO I had was.
And then what about the felonies? Did they ever go away?
I think there's a way to get them expunged, but
you still have them now.
But at this moment, I still have them. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so, what does that mean? Is it the 3-strike kind of thing?
Yeah, it would be. Yeah.
So 2 felonies means one more thing, and you're no.
No, I think they're. They run. I'm not saying this is a fact. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think that if I commit another crime right now, then that would be 2.
Okay.
So,
gotcha.
or
Yeah,
let's say there was some trouble I had gotten into before this, right? Like, some stuff where I'd gotten some misdemeanors. And then one was a felony. Like so I don't know how that works, but I think it's a 3 strikes, 3 separate strikes. I don't know if it's 3 concurrent, like things like that. But
it's still crazy. Like, I don't even see you as like a felon. You know what I mean? Like, when I hang out with you and know you, it's crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's just one thing.
One thing.
One mistake or one action or one response or one, like, just change everything for your life, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah, completely.
Dude. One moment.
Because.
And that guy was okay, right? Everything was good after that. He's okay.
Yeah. And then we did the.
Did you ever talk to the guy again?
No, I saw him months later when he took me to the civil suit. So he sued me.
Oh, shoot.
So yeah, we did a full civil suit, and then I think he may have been comparing me to like a professional basketball or football player or something, like that kind of money.
So the trial's over, and then he comes at you again with a civil suit.
Yeah.
I know you can do that. That's crazy because you already got your punishment.
So the punishment
he gets something out of it.
Now the civil part, that part of it is that now he can actually come and sue me.
Damn, just for like damages or like insurance or money or
and he was trying to get, I think at the time, $2 million. And
so you had to go to court for that.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah, and then fortunately at that
point he came to LA for that, or that was
no. I had to go back to Colorado for all that. I had to hire the attorney to do all that. Yeah,
bro, this is crazy.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Never ending.
It felt like it was.
How many times do you have to go back for that?
4 or 5.
No.
Well,
way,
no. I don't think I went back 4 or 5.
You have to pay for your flights, pay for all your things, do all your things.
Yeah. There was the first hearing. There was probably the second. There was the third, which was the final.
So once he found out who you were, then
then he wanted to get money.
Dude.
Yeah.
And he won something from you.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's not cool, but fuck. Then it's just over.
Yeah.
So he got what he wanted. He got to go. Nobody's dead. All that stuff.
Yeah.
There's positives in all this shit. You got sober.
Yeah, I got sober.
Until once you found out that you weren't going to go to jail, then you kind of fell off a little bit after.
Yeah, I did. And so, in me getting sober, I got sober, but there was no recovery in there. I wasn't doing the work that there is in the 12-step program.
Yeah.
And so I remained sober for those 14 months. And once the trial was done, there was a difficult thing that came up in my life, and I didn't have the tools to be able to cope with that. And that was almost immediately after the trial.
Jeez, man.
So I immediately drank. I was immediately looking for coke. That was just, it was as if I didn't skip a beat.
Yeah.
Except the thing is that I knew what I wanted to do, and I knew what I didn't want to do, and I knew the dangers of what drinking and drugs got me into, and I knew that I couldn't keep living like that.
Yeah.
So I was out of state when I drank, and when I came back, I got a sponsor. I started working. I started working a 12-step program, and I have remained sober ever since then.
Incredible.
And that was October 6th, 2014.
Crazy, dude. That's amazing, dude.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thank you.
And then everything changes for you then.
All my life has been a series of changes for my perspective on it has been in gratitude. So every change that's happened in my life is part of something that I have no control over. So, there's things I can control and things I can't control. So life comes at me, it's my reaction to that.
Yeah.
Whether I want to resist or whether I want to go with the flow.
Yeah.
And so I look at that incident. So for the months and months that passed, the incident that itself that happened.
Yeah.
I was so angry at that guy and his friends and all these people.
It was his fault.
It was his fault. It wasn't mine. It was his. And that's the way I looked at everything.
That was ego too and everything.
Totally.
Yeah.
It was all that.
Yeah.
So what I also looked at was through my work that I do, that I got to look at all of the things that I was not taking accountability for in my life.
Yeah.
Where I was blaming other people for everything.
Yeah.
I blamed everyone for everything. But
Yeah,
then
it was never your fault.
never my fault, but then I take credit for it if it goes well. So I, like now, if you ask me, and we were talking about this, is that I'm grateful it happened. Not grateful the situation happened and unfolded the way it did,
Yeah.
but I'm very, very grateful that happened, because who knows what would have, the way I was going.
Something could have happened to you. Yeah.
Something could happen. Something worse could have happened in the future.
I know.
Anything. And who I get to be now, the father I get to be.
Yeah.
Husband.
Yeah.
I'm remarried. How'd
you meet Amy?
I met her
in the skate world?
I met her in the beginning of the KCDC days. She was one of the only female run skate shops. So with skateboarding being, it's a very connected industry.
Yeah.
And so you kind of end up knowing a lot of the people that run the stores and all that.
Yeah.
And so I always had respect for her for being kind of like a independent female owned shop. And she was always super cool. Back in the day, we would always come through, and when we would go to New York or.
So throughout your career, you'd met her a bunch of times.
Yeah, I had met her a number of times, and she was always cordial with me, and she was always, very respected in what she did. And and then so, a few years after, after everything unfolded, I was in New York, and we got together, and
it's awesome, man. Such a small world, because I know her from back then and seen her all around at different shows or hip hop places or whatever. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's a very small world, man.
Yeah. And she's, she grew up in that New York scene.
Yeah.
She was modeling in the early 90s.
That's right.
And then got into she was part of all of those scenes that are intersecting at that time.
Totally.
She was a big part of that. And and she ended up opening a skate shop because that was her tribe. And those were the people. It was music. It was the music scene. It was the art scene, skateboarding. And so I think a lot of our perspective is very similar, growing up on other sides of the country, but, hers is very similar to mine. And she's also got, 10 and a half years sobriety as well.
Oh, amazing. Around the same time. That's crazy.
So it's really cool that,
So you kind of met when you both had just been sober. That's kind of nuts. Around the same time. Wow.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
So when you met, you were both sober, obviously.
No,
finally met and finally connected.
Yeah. We were both getting sober at the time. She was.
Perfect,
I think that she was. So just a real briefly, part of my relapse was connected to all that. So I fell off. She did. And then we both got sober together within 4 days apart. And so we've been sober ever since.
That's amazing, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to do that together too, that's awesome.
Yeah. It's been, she's really special. The way that she communicates with people, I've, through my time being with her, I've learned a lot. And, when I have the tendency, because I am who I am, and and a lot of my alcoholic behavior, it's a constant work in progress.
Yeah. But
she's able to check me on that. And,
cool.
It's really it's nice. It's a great environment to be living in.
It's nice to have a partner, a wife or whatever to keep you in check, dude. Keep you humble, keep you on point.
Yep.
Tell you like it is. I mean,
she's real strong.
Yeah.
With the kids, disciplined, she's very structured. And I've learned to appreciate and have a fondness for structure as well, especially in my sobriety too.
Oh yeah, dude.
Because I think part of the the rebellious nature of growing up in that world is you kind of you oppose structure, you oppose kind of that kind of
stability, all that stuff.
Yeah, you kind of you sort of oppose that.
And now you have all that.
Yes, and I love it.
You're in a good place now.
I am. Yeah,
life's very good.
Mm-hmm.
But even during the time when you were partying, you had a lot of successful things with the Baker distribution, with the Supra, right? Like all that stuff.
Yeah.
Deathwish, all that.
Yeah.
He was still managing and doing that, running those companies and being part of those endeavors.
And I've got some good partners, like with Supra, it was there was a couple people that they had approached me to help them start that. And at that point in my career, I had a reputable name and it was associated with that, and so it was more of me, being a part of that with my name, but then I benefited by learning the way a brand gets started. And sort of that. And we had started Baker before, maybe a few years before that. But a skateboard brand versus like a footwear brand and manufacturing and stuff, there's a lot of differences with that, and lead times and things like that, and design and marketing and everything. And Supra took off, and I was able to be there right there with it as it grew, and seeing it on celebrities, and seeing how the PR worked with that. And it was cool, I really I'm grateful that I was in a position in my career to be able to take a risk that I did, which was having a successful, one of the best selling shoes at another brand as I had a signature shoe, and being able to see, I don't know, there's something that I had early on, and a lot of this is probably from my stepdad and watching the way he was, because he was the first real entrepreneur that I knew. And the way that he grew up in LA, moved up to, he was doing, in the 60s and 70s, he was doing shop top cars and like customizing cars and learning how to paint and, learning these different trades, and then learned how to fly when he moved up to Alaska, or flew for commercial for a Wien Air Alaska, right? He was able to pivot in his life and do all these different things. So I think having grown up around that in the house and seeing that, it was like, I knew in the back of my mind, I knew that skateboarding wasn't going to last forever, and I knew that if I didn't take advantage of at least where I was at that point in life, and going because if I can, if I can, have some kind of ownership or do something, I just knew that that's what I wanted to do for the rest of my life, was to do something that was involved in, at least I wanted to, I wanted to always work around people that I considered family.
Yes.
And so, I have there's this fear in the back of my head that I don't want to take a regular job that I dislike. And maybe that's a bit projecting on, cause who knows, maybe I might love it, but still that was kind of that was my mindset.
What was the last real job you did have?
The last real job was,
I had a boss and like the clock.
There was two. The only two jobs I really held were window. I was the when you pulled your car up to the service station, I would pump the gas and I would wash the windows, and then the other job was bagging herbs and spices at a co-op. Nice. So I was just bagging herbs and spices, tying them up, weigh them, put a sticker on them.
And those are the last two.
Those were the last
and everything
two
else
jobs.
is skateboarding, and
that's it. I've been very, very lucky.
It's incredible, man. Yeah. Especially like with like how your lifestyle was, and
I know.
It's so. I mean, like, it's pretty wild, man. I mean, the Supra shit was crazy because I didn't really know about it till I saw like Bieber or Lil Wayne or Jay-Z, those guys rocking it. Like, I didn't even know what it was till I didn't know it was a skate thing. I know that Muska had a shoe. You had like 6 different shoes maybe. On
there was. Yeah. I think I had about 6, and Muska's Skytop took off.
Yeah, that took off, dude.
And like you just said, Lil Wayne was like representing it hard. Like dude. In his videos, Justin Bieber was always wearing it. Like like Jay-Z was wearing.
Wasn't it a skate shoe? Or just more of a fashion shoe?
It was a skate shoe. But but with Chad's influence on it, it had,
because he always rocked high top shit. Yeah.
He always thought outside the box. So
he's another one, like his whole look, his like boom boxes, like his fashion, his style. Like he's another like
personality.
Totally, dude.
Yeah, he's a genuine awesome. He's a good friend of mine.
I love seeing him. Like he's in Ohio now. There's chicken on his farm, and he's doing all this stuff. He's doing the sign, all the stuff he does is so cool, man.
Yeah, and he's doing his, he's doing his thing, remaking his old skateboards, doing his apparel. I think he's probably going to release his shoe again,
dude. And he's in Ohio, just like
he's extremely creative.
I know, just the mind's creative. It doesn't matter where you live.
It doesn't matter. He's out there in the middle of nowhere doing it.
I know, man.
Yeah.
That was a big thing to do. Like just leave Los Angeles. I think he's got family out there maybe. I don't know, but
Yeah, he's I don't know the details of it, but
Yeah,
sold his house and then just left.
I know.
And then
It's kind of sick.
It is, yeah.
And then
I
just to, like,
FaceTimed him maybe 2 or 3 months ago, and he was doing great. He looked so happy.
Just to like kind of like restart and reset and like,
yeah,
it's pretty cool, man. He's such a legend. But yeah, his style and everything about him, and he like inspired so many people.
Like Hosoi, you know,
like Hosoi, his generation of Hosoi.
He had one of the most charismatic styles in skateboarding,
Yeah.
I think ever. One of the most, you know,
Damn.
Yeah, amazing.
So the last part you did was in the Deathwish video in 2013, I think, right? You?
Yeah, and then I've had some tricks here and there. I think but
And
that was
some
the
other
last full
videos.
video part.
Do you think you want to do another video someday or no?
You know, I think optimistically, maybe I'm like, it'd be cool. You know, like I would.
But you already done it though too as well.
Yeah, but you know, there's
like, would you want to learn new tricks and do a new part and all this stuff? And
but what it would be recycling me doing the same. You know what?
Yeah.
Here's what I'll do. I'll still skateboard. And I'll put up a clip here and there on Instagram.
Yeah, totally.
And then that way, if anybody wants to see it, cool.
See what you're up to.
Yeah. Like, but as far as like the work that gets put into a video part and all that, and for me to be actually like proud of what I'm putting out, there's a whole, that's a dedication. There's got to be like, okay, I'm going to drop everything I'm doing right now for the next year.
Yeah.
And maybe 2.
And
that's what I'm going to do.
You can't do that with a family and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, you could still do it with family, I think, you know, because
we have a lot of things going on though.
Yeah,
we have a lot of things going on.
And I also enjoy doing a lot of different things right now.
Yeah, dude.
And so for me, there's a lot of things that I'm extremely interested in doing, and I'm like, you know what? There's been a big portion of my life, the foundation of my life is built on skateboarding. And I was talking to somebody about this the other day, and it's like, you know, maybe we don't do it as much as, you know, we used to or whatever. But the thing is that every interaction that I have, it's always based in that. Like the majority of it is like your and I's connection. Like, you know, so it's like the foundation of it, because like when I think back on a lot of the most enjoyable times for skateboarding for me, it was like a hot Arizona day behind the Safeway, sitting there like drinking Slurpees after the session, you know, like it's like the actual act of skateboarding is a major part of it, but it's the community, it's the people. It's like you know, that to me is almost, looking back, is more important. Like
the friendships, all that, the memories, all that shit.
Yeah, then the act of it. So like it's the friendships and stuff like that, which that never went away.
True. And plus, if people want to see you do that, they can watch like whatever Baker 2
watch
and Baker
an old
3
video,
and the Baker Summer Tour, the Misled Youth. There's so many like ones you were on, but yeah, that's crazy. 2013 was the last part. Wow,
it is crazy. When you
did you know it was gonna be your last part in that video? Did you know you weren't?
No. And to think about it, I wish that I wish there was another one after that. I think, but there's not. I don't think.
Are you trying to learn new tricks now and stuff like that? Do you?
Yeah, when I go out, I'm like, you know what's too. This is kind of cool. Is if I'm doing it, like when I'm doing it a lot, you know, when I was, I kind of get, you know, I almost have blinders on to what I can do. Yeah. But when I stop for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then I reapproach it, it's almost like my mind opens up in a different way.
Yeah.
And then I think the things that I used to not be able to do come easier.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, it's like you're in a weird way, your mindset is trained to tell you can't do that if you're doing it all the time. And then by stepping away, it gives me the perspective to reapproach it in a different way.
Gotcha.
You know? So yeah, I guess to answer that is that, I'm maybe learning them here and there.
Yeah, the skating now is insane. Like the young kid.
It's at a whole different level.
It's something when I saw Rodney Mullen, like there's never gonna be a Rodney Mullen. Like obviously this is one of a kind, but I love Andy Anderson. He's incredible. He does freestyle. He does street. He does bowls. He does half pipes. Like a totally well-rounded skateboarder, does everything. Yeah, are you paying attention to the younger, like new generation?
Yeah, I try to, you know, like, and I see, because, you know, we have a skate park at Baker Boys, and I'm always seeing, like, you know, people coming in there and like find out who they are, and you know, like it's the same kind of feeling for them. It's
pretty crazy, like how the technical shit is. It's just
I used to think like it always, you know, I don't know, 10 years ago, I would think, man, it's not going to get any crazier than it is right now.
Yeah.
And then looking at it now, I'm like, well, I was wrong. It did. And but people get more technical and they get more consistent, and the ability to be able to escape certain things, like that's where I don't have that ability. Like, I think that my generation, it was the like danger factor is always still there, right?
Still there, but
except we didn't have the like ability to get out of a dangerous situation as much as people have developed now.
Yeah. Oh, how they have now. Yeah. Do you have any major regrets in your life? We talked about this last time.
Yeah, let's see if my answer will be.
Because we talked about it after. You said you didn't regret something. Or I don't know what it was. I forgot.
So
I think I know what it is too from the last time. Let's see what you say.
Well, so here's the thing. Like, the way that I live my life right now is that everything that's happened to me has gotten me to this point right now.
Exactly.
And so
good and the bad.
If I were to be able to be the conductor of my life and go back and, hold on to something that I regretted and wish I'd have done differently, it wouldn't have allowed me to get to the place I'm at now.
Absolutely.
So the one thing that comes off the top is like, I regret getting in that fight, but who knows where my life would have been if I hadn't gotten in that fight.
Mm-hmm.
So there's things like that I go like, well, the easy answer would be something like that. But the reality of it is that I actually am grateful that everything has happened the way it's happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I try my best not to look back and regret things.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, if that didn't happen, or it could have happened opposite, you could have got stabbed. You could have got, you know what I mean? Like,
maybe spending more time with my dad. There's things like that I never would have known that being that age.
No.
So it's not worth spending the time to think about something like that. So maybe if I think about it, I could think about spending time with my kids. So what can I do differently going forward?
Yeah.
So if I could take a regret and change it to something that would be part of my actions today, then that's so I don't have the tendency to look back and think about things like that. I definitely look back and reflect on things,
mm-hmm.
And how, how they could have been different, but who fucking knows?
Yeah, for sure.
Who knows?
Do you believe in therapy?
Yeah.
And do you do therapy or no?
There were some years that I was doing it, and I think that it's whatever place in life and things require the attention of perspective.
Yeah.
My therapy comes from a 12-step program.
Oh,
where
I get that.
I get to talk to I have guys that I talk to on a daily basis. I get to share some of the stuff that's tough for me.
Yeah.
They get to share some of the stuff that's tough for them.
Yeah.
We get to come up with some kind of solution to that, and most of the time all the time the solution is an acceptance of things we can't control. So
I love that.
Yeah.
Is there a trick that you never could learn that still bothers you, or
like a skate trick?
Yeah.
I wish I could have learned to skate. Had I learned to skate transition a little bit better,
I love transition.
That would have been fun.
Shit.
I still have dreams to this day that I can skate transition really well, but
like
at this point, I'll take that. Like, that's fine.
Would you try to do it? It's too late to try? Or no?
No, I every time I go up to the skate park, when I do, I mess around a little bit.
Like, you drop it on vert and stuff?
Yeah, it would be nice to be really comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Like you were inviting me to Mike's ramp and stuff.
I know.
If I could go there and just rip that like somebody that I looked up to, like John Cardiel or Coco Santiago or something, fuck, I would love that.
Just blast off.
But that's not my reality. And, hey, I'll work with what I have.
Yeah. Did you wear pads or anything like that skating?
No.
Damn, it's crazy. No. I had to because I skated vert. It's crazy watching people skate vert with just a helmet on and no pads, or just the way they fall different. I've always slid to my knees. They slide on their backs, or it's such a.
But
it's
also,
crazy that changed.
A lot of the people that are growing up learning how to skate now, they have maybe an 8-9 foot deep pool in the skate park, and then they have a 6-stair rail, a 10-stair rail, they have ledges all over the place. So remember, we had to hunt for a ramp.
Yeah.
And one person had one.
Totally.
And that was and then you'd get oh, there's too many people in my ramp, bro. Like, you can't come in.
Yeah.
Or whatever, it's like.
Even trying to get a run on those ramps, everybody's
Yeah, and I never, I remember hearing about a vert ramp in Alaska.
Okay.
And it was an older dude. I remember trying to go there, never could do it, never could get there. Whatever, So, yeah. Like,
did it really exist?
Kids, no, well, what I was saying is kids grow up now,
Yeah.
being able to skate every single thing right around them. So it's, the ability to adapt to different like type of terrain.
Yeah, that's why I seen Andy Anderson like doing freestyle. Then he's going to do a little something here, then skate the pool and the bowl, and
right.
That's a good point.
They
Everything else was spread out before.
Because as we get older, it becomes a little more difficult. So if you're 13, you're growing up on a skate park that's got a full pipe, like it's got a bowl.
Yeah,
it has has all these different things. And I would have been maybe skating all of that stuff too.
Yeah,
not maybe not at the level of some of the people.
We just got in the Tony Hawk game.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Isn't that cool? I'm so excited, man.
I saw that.
It was the most randomest shit. Like a couple months ago, I got my old label, Epitaph. Our record's from 1999. We got hit up and said that they're asking for this one song. I'm like,
and what year was that song recorded?
1998.
Sick.
I'm like, yeah. I said, yes, absolutely. I don't care what they're paying. I'll take. I'll do it for free. I don't give a fuck. So honored, dude. That's such a big deal, man.
Yeah. That's like
just to be on that, like it's with a Gangstar and KRS-One.
Amazing, yeah. The lineup is like you're in the mix of that.
I know.
And then for us, it's like, dude, that's like the soundtrack of a movie.
It is because I know what the soundtrack's meant to us growing up.
Yep.
Like Back to the Bones Brigade video. I just
said
this band Youth Brigade had a song on there. Did You Want to Die? I just saw it on the podcast a couple weeks ago, and I told them like it's because of the Bones Brigade, I got into punk rock almost because of that soundtrack, dude. Like it's crazy.
And now you're doing that for whoever's playing
crazy.
That video
and
game.
I think Tony's involved in like picking stuff. I'm not sure. I don't want to say, but it's just like he's still like my like top tier like skate god because he's still ripping it.
Have you met him?
Yeah, I met him a couple of times. I'm always like, hey, I'm Toby. He's like, oh, I met you before. I know your name because I met him so many times.
Do you get nervous?
Yeah, and the last time I met with Jason Ellis, he's like, I know you, Toby. I met you before. And I shook his hand. I went to his ramp. I stood on the top of the deck. I looked over, had my board. I didn't even do it. I didn't even drop in. I was so shook, man.
Yeah.
I was just pumping and carving and doing I almost did backside grind. But I was just watching him and Ellis just rip it, dude. Yeah.
Do you ever think that it would be like you'd be able to be comfortable around Tony Hawk?
No, dude. Yeah. I'm comfortable with Cab and the Soy. Those are my brothers. I don't know Tony like that, but Tony to me was always, I don't know, he's just almost like it's like Prince or something, or like in the top tier. Michael Jackson, you know what I'm saying? He's a Michael Jordan of skateboarding. Like there's something, he's Tony Hawk.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah. You'll always be a little nervous.
And he's still ripping it. The thing is, like, he's still doing new tricks and he's still hurting himself. He's still like,
it's amazing, right?
Bro, he's like got to be almost 60.
Maybe he's not quite that old, but
who would ever thought like,
he's definitely 55 or something. But he's fucking.
Bro, I got pictures of my photo. I'm gonna show you. I went to Mount Trashmore in 1986. I brought my little camera and I said I worked for a magazine.
Yeah.
I got to go on the deck and sit next to Gator and Hawk and the Soy and Tony Magnuson. I took all these dope pictures. I had Cab sign one and Soy sign. I'll show you.
And you still got him.
Yeah, Soy doing a Christ air right in front of my face, a rocket air.
Jeez.
And Magnuson and him were going back to back for the highest air that time. Like. All that shit's crazy. Like how like, skateboarding is just scene. Like skateboarding's amazing, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just crazy how far it's come. Olympics, all that shit is just
completely.
It's just I don't know, man. It's fucking.
I know. It's
pretty amazing to be involved in it in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And for me, being in a band for 30 years in this freaking band, and one of the biggest things in my career is being on a Tony Hawk game at 54 years old.
That's crazy.
It's fucking crazy to me, dude.
It's full circle.
And I feel like a little kid. I'm like, oh my God, this is fucking huge to me.
Yeah.
It may not be to the rest of my band. They get it. They're like psyched about it too. But I grew up skating. Like it's just like.
Yeah. Well, there's an emotional value. Like there's something that you can't, like there's no amount of money. There's nothing that would compare to that.
Nothing, dude.
Yeah. That's cool, man. Congratulations.
Thank
that's
you,
fucking
man. Cool. Optimist or pessimist?
Optimist.
100%,
yeah,
dude.
100%.
I get you. You have such good energy, dude.
Thank you. You do too.
Thank you. I'm 5 days off caffeine right now.
Good.
Shit's fucking
I
killing
am
me,
not
bro.
5 days off caffeine.
You're 5 hours off it.
No.
But you're an optimist. You always been an optimist?
Yeah, I think that I've had bouts with it throughout, like,
some dark times.
Yeah, through, maybe 18, 19 years old up until probably into my 20s somewhere, and then when I was going through that case, I don't.
It was hard to be positive.
Yeah,
I couldn't imagine. I'd be losing my mind if I thought I was going to go to prison for like.
It was hard to keep a positive
30 years
attitude.
or something,
yeah.
dude. I'd be losing my mind.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I would like if I got sentenced, if I could even go, if I do something stupid, which I wouldn't want to do and leave my family behind, but you're training for it, you're trying to get mentally and physically ready.
Yeah.
You can't even get ready for that, dude.
No.
I wouldn't be sleeping.
That's what I was, same thing. Yeah.
I'd probably be straight edge. I would probably fall off straight edge. I'd probably lose my mind.
Yeah.
If you're facing that. I think you're trying to hold it together, be like a, strong dad, a strong husband, and fuck whatever.
There was points where I feel like I was giving up. But and
if I was already a drinker, I'd be like, fuck, I'm drinking, dude.
Yeah. But getting sober
dude.
saved my life.
It's a gnarly story, man.
It allowed me to get through that.
It's a whole new chapter for you, man.
Completely. It is. That's where I feel like my life really opened up. Was when I got sober. When I actually started doing the work, right?
Yeah.
When I started addressing the reasons why I drank, why I was insecure, why I had low self-esteem.
You did so we call people from your past and apologize?
Absolutely, yeah.
That stuff's real, yeah. That must be heavy too.
Yeah. And a lot of the stuff that you make up in your head is heavier than what it actually is.
True.
And then when you stop giving that power to it, you're able to move on.
Yeah.
Then I'm not holding on to past resentments, and I'm not kind of clenching onto these things in the past that informed the behavior of how I was living my life.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at now. And that's still a work in progress.
No, I know. But but it's not a, it's like when they say it's just one day at a time, whatever they say. But for you, it's like you don't even think about that stuff anymore, that kind of life. You don't get triggered by things or smell something or.
No, it's, and it's different from person to person,
Yeah.
My take on it is, I have a strong foundation. So
you do.
Like I was at a bar, the other night for somebody who was celebrating something. And the last thing on my mind was getting something to drink.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't, I see people cheersing in front of me. Someone spilled vodka on my leg. It didn't.
Yeah.
But here's the thing is that when something comes up that what my tools used to be were to resort to drinking.
Yeah.
And that was how I was able to, that was how I was able to process it.
Yeah.
I have different tools now.
Totally.
That I'm able to process it with.
Yeah.
So now that I've picked up those new tools, the old ones don't serve anymore. They don't work the way they used to.
Yeah.
Because they never really worked.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Yeah. I feel like you're so like so focused. You're so like comfortable in your body and your skin. Like I'm saying, like it's just like I just met you recently, but still, you just as a person, you seem to have your shit together.
Thanks.
You know what I mean? Like,
and that's all a work in progress too.
Yeah.
Some days, like lately, I've gotten into meditation, and that seemed to be like helping me process certain things. And I still start to get into the future, and I still start to like I have the tendency to like look back on something, and and as long as I stay connected. And, and I've got a really, like the foundation, like I'm talking about with my wife and, sponsees and sponsor and people. And just, there's a lot of people that I've got that are,
holding you down
that I can rely on.
Totally,
yeah. They're holding me down.
It's important.
And so, my sponsor told me a long time ago, water seeks its own level. And I always carried that around because, it's like the more time that I have, the more, my association and, it's like when I was drinking and using and like, the type of behavior you get into and the people and things you surround yourself with and the places you put yourself in, it's just seeking its own level. The ability that I have now not to enable these situations to happen.
Yeah.
And then me to play into them and then play a victim, not take accountability, hold on to a resentment, and then let that dictate what my next steps are, what things that are in my control.
Yeah.
Is giving that it's not how I live.
Yeah.
So relationships, friendships, whatever, all of this is like if I'm looking at a partner in a business and there's a red flag or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, I could play that through. And then I can go, okay, like I can make a difficult decision. I was working on my own brand.
Yeah, Ellington.
And, I got to step back, get out of like this kind of bubble that I was in working on that. And, like, cause you start, you have a passion of working on something. Sometimes you have blinders on. Totally. I was able to step back, and I was able to, from a financial position, I was able to look at that and make a healthy decision for myself, my family, and the other stuff that I'm doing, and say, I have to put that on hold.
Yeah.
I couldn't have done that.
It's probably very hard too.
It was extremely hard. Yeah. And I'm very passionate about doing that. And I love design, and I love that, I love the creation of things, and I like seeing things come to life. And so I had to make that decision, and it wasn't easy, but it was also probably the right decision.
Yeah.
I don't think I could have done that 7 or 8 years ago, early on in my sobriety. I don't think I definitely couldn't have done it, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
But it's a silly example because there's more valid examples than that. But just the idea of being able to reflect on something and then come at it without being so emotional about it.
Yeah.
Because
attachments to it. You can just put that to the side. It's still your thing that you're starting, but right now it's gonna be in the hole for a second because you have also Deathwish too, which you guys just dropped a new capsule.
Yeah, and that's been really fun to work on because like we were talking about, is I'm not skating as much as I used to, and I sort of took a little step back from it, and it was and it was still running and it was still doing its thing, and over the last year, I stepped back in to work on some of the graphics and help cater to the team a little bit more to what they like, and start working on some of the apparel, and all the way down to the what the Instagram looks like, or how the email flyers go out, and what the website itself looks like, and rebranded it a little bit. And it's my dream since I was a kid.
Yeah.
To be a pro skateboarder, and then eventually to have your own brand. Yeah. And I have that. And I'm like, awesome. That's like one of the foundational pieces of my life. Yeah. So getting back in and being able to even do a shoot for a day with the team, it gives me a purpose. It gives me a reason to be able to connect to them.
And you're connecting back to
and then I'm calling them up or texting them, asking them if they like these graphics and stuff like that. And even though it might be inconsequential, like it's like, maybe they don't care, but it's like, for when I had a graphic, it was I think it's an honor for them to have a skateboard with their name on it.
Absolutely.
And that was always the way I looked at it.
When you got your first board too and everything.
It's like the highest honor that you can receive.
First shoe and everything. Yeah.
And I'm now able to look at that and go, that's really important for them. And so I want to be able to, from my experience, be able to do something that I can contribute to that. Yeah. So I've directly come back in to help that, and I feel really good about that.
And also, you're still in the mix, you know what I mean? Every foot here and there, it's like you're not an outsider. You're the OG, but also the young kids respect you, and you're part of this brand that's still relevant and people care about. And you're making new stuff, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun. It's like it gives me purpose.
Yeah.
And it's exciting because I'm creating something, and that's always today, getting emails about something we're placing a PO for that was just, it was in the inception stages a month ago, and now seeing it come to life, and then watching the people be able to put it on, all that little stuff is like, if you're doing a lot of those things, it you start to kind of the value of them starts to kind of decrease. But I'm like, man, I really like to come back to how lucky I am to be in the place that I'm at right now, to be able to have the opportunity to do that. Yeah. And if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it fully.
Yeah. And you're still doing something. You're not being paid to skate anymore, really. You're doing your own stuff in the skateboard world and the culture and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So you're still doing what you love, but it's not on a skateboard.
It's a different way of doing what I love.
But it's part of the skateboard culture, though.
Yeah.
It's totally. It's your blood, your sweat. It's your DNA.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep. And it comes back to that part of the in-between, it's comes back to sitting on the curb, drinking a Slurpee with my friends talking, so I'm looking at it like that because it's awesome.
Yeah. And then we got Easy Does It coming.
Yes. Yeah.
So Easy Does It's coming out soon.
Yep. That's
non-alcoholic beer.
Yeah. I'm launching a non-alcoholic beer.
I've seen the layouts. It's fucking awesome. It looks great. Everything you've shown me and shared with me. Thank you. It looks amazing. Yeah. I'm stoked for you.
Thanks. I appreciate it. This is also most of the things that I've done, you know, even from the balance days, being like 16, starting a skate brand in Arizona, all of it is the extension of where I'm at in life and what that creation looks like, you know, and moving to California, starting a skate brand with friends, getting involved in Supra. It's like, these are all like phases of that, you know, and
different chapters
of life. And at this point it's like, how do I communicate, you know, the people being able to socialize, have a blast, have fun with their friends, but yet be able to either have something for somebody who doesn't drink and likes to drink beer, or somebody who's moderating.
Now I'm noticing different commercials or stuff I'm seeing about non-alcoholic beer since I've been talking to you about it. I have so many friends like in Europe that drink that. It's like, it's pretty popular over there. Like,
it's called Easy Does It.
Easy Does It. Yeah.
And it's
a great name, man.
Thanks. The whole thing is like, how do you have a fucking blast, but still give a shit about what you're doing?
Totally.
You know? That's the thing.
Yeah,
like,
you're not going out to get fucked up and fuck people's nights up or their worlds up or
go to the bar, like
drive your car. I know that shit. You're trying to like fucking.
When I went to the bar the other night, I drank an NA beer.
Yeah.
You know,
party and have fun.
Yeah, that's it. Like,
not hurt anyone.
That's right. That's exactly right.
What was the motto on the side of the can?
Go hard, care hard.
Yeah, I love that, dude.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Like but this is go hard with what you do in life. You know, like this is
but care about people. Don't be a piece of shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you can go hard.
You can go hard.
Just don't hurt anybody.
Family, work,
all that.
Friendship.
Love hard.
Yep. And then care.
Skate hard.
And then give a shit about what you do.
Care hard. Yep. Yeah. So you're drinking, but you're caring about your body and your health and
that's right.
Not get intoxicated and you could be like an angry drunk or not, but you're not getting any of that effect.
You're like a Care Bear.
Yeah, you're having a Care Bear. So it's true. You have to get Care Bear to do like a collab with you.
Yeah. That would be sick, actually.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like so you're caring about your health and caring about the people around you, and you're enjoying the taste of a non-alcoholic beer that brings you that taste and that energy and that vibe of when you did drink or when maybe you never drank before, and just it's nice.
Because I want to be able to go to a show or go out at night and be able to have something that is actually like, that looks good, tastes like a beer, but doesn't get me drunk.
Totally.
Whatever.
What are some of your daily rituals?
Let's see. Right now my son is in college, so he's about to move away. But my daughter's she's a sophomore. So we usually get up 6 to 7 a.m., little group, breakfast, hang out.
I saw that video making waffles or something. I remember that. Something.
Yeah, that was probably 5 years ago.
And neither of them skate?
Nope. Mm-mm.
Wow. Never tried?
No, you know, throughout over the years, like they've come out skating with me and done their thing, but they just never, you know, they never had the desire to keep doing it.
I like that, doing their own
thing. My
thing.
daughter's really into volleyball. My son is into working out and reading the stock market. Like
sick.
That's what he has. A girlfriend. He has a few friends that are close.
Great.
You know, he's becoming a foodie.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, he's but yeah, they're my routine.
And he's jacked too. He works out.
He's big. He's 170. He's 175 right now.
That's crazy.
No, he's 180 right now. But
does he inspire you to work out?
Yeah, he does.
That's
started
cool,
getting
man.
into. I do a little bit of lifting in the morning.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I do my own little like weak ass routine.
Because we can never be weaker than our kids, man.
No.
You never be able to kick your dad's ass. So
I'll show you a photo. He's.
I just saw his arms in one picture you showed me earlier. His arms are like,
he is big. Yesterday he came back from the gym and he had a tank top on. I was like, it's crazy. Like
damn.
I look at him, I'm like. Now I'm looking at him like, because before, you know, you're like, oh shit, you're getting kind of big. Now I'm like looking at him like he's visually like you see him, you're like, you're jacked.
Yeah, we still have dad strength though.
Yeah, we do. And there's no comparing to that.
Okay, so they're like just living their lives. They're
doing their thing. Yeah.
So that's good.
And then now I'm beginning into meditating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you do breath work.
And I do that. So.
And you get a plunge sauna coming.
Yeah.
It's going to be a game changer. I'm so psyched for you, dude. It's going to be such a game changer.
Yeah, it will. I mean, every time I leave here, it's like, you know, it's such
a
good
natural
feeling.
high, dude.
It is. I like taking care of myself now.
Yeah. You care.
I care.
You care hard. It's crazy that cold water, we talked about it in the last one, but taking a cold shower is great for you. Mm-hmm. Going in something hot. Just basic things, man.
Yeah, these are like, they're so simple.
Walking.
Yeah. that's what Amy, she, always is encouraging me to get on walks. I'm like, all right.
I love walks, dude.
I like to work from home. I just, we just recently finished our house, and I was like, it's really comfortable for me. So I like to work out of my office. I basically just stick around the house and do my things, hang out with the kids. We watched one of the movies they used to watch when they were a kid, Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Oh my God.
We watched that last night.
Bro,
one of them.
That was my son's favorite movies.
Dude, watch it again. It's still fucking hilarious.
Dude. So how many are there? How many are those?
I think there's 4 or 5 of them.
No, the movies though, a bunch.
Yeah, there's 4 or 5 movies.
I read all the books of my son. That was his favorite fucking thing, and I don't know which one it is. We're watching one of them.
Loaded Diaper.
The band's sick, but there's I gotta find which one it is. In one of the episodes, it's in one of the kids' bedrooms. There's an H2O poster on his roof, thicker than water. And me and Max were watching as a kid, and I paused it, and I reached out to the label. That, oh yeah, they asked for that epitaph, the same ones who did the Tony Hawk. I was like, did you guys okay this? Oh yeah, we okay that. But my son, I was so proud, dude. This is my son's favorite movie, and then I'm on the roof. It was pretty cool, man.
Epic.
That was a cool
What a
moment.
good dad moment.
That was a sick moment. But yeah, that's such a great movie. Those books were great. Yeah. They were so helpful to my son as a young kid. He loved those books, dude.
How many? Because I remember reading like 14 or 15 of the books. There was like 30 of them, right? Maybe
so you
more.
watched those with the kids last? What
was really cool is like, so my daughter, I mean, they're like, my son's 19, my daughter's 16.
Yeah.
And to see them on the couch watching Diary of a Wimpy Kid, I was like about to cry.
I would cry. I would cry right now. And it's just beautiful because that's something you guys grew up watching together.
Yeah, and they were laughing, and I was like, man. So we were finishing up dinner, and they had went and started watching it, and I was just like, man, I was sitting back like looking at them, like laughing, and they were really genuinely laughing. So then we joined them, watched the rest of it. It was awesome. And
so for the rest of their lives, wherever they're at, if that movie comes on, it's something they always remember those moments with you guys. It's like same with Finding Nemo or The Incredibles.
Oh, Cars was a big one,
dude.
Yeah,
so many things from the childhood.
How old's Max?
22.
Yeah, so Cars was a big one for him, and that like.
Oh, Toy Story.
Oh,
bro.
Yeah.
It's so crazy when you become a parent. You get to relive your childhood with
Wall-E.
Christmas and all. Wall-E.
Yeah.
Woo, Wall-E was sick.
I love Wall-E. And Wall-E was a good story, too.
It's a great story.
I mean, the majority of those are good stories.
But it's so cool to like, I'm bummed like Christmas is over and all that stuff is done. Those are such great memories, dude.
I know.
Surprising them and dressing up and having, I don't know, man.
It's sometimes hard not to get sad about that stuff.
It is. And you become so emotional as a parent, and like it's like you're living your whole childhood and you're trying to give them a better childhood than you had, and give them the most love, the most attention, the compassion, all that stuff. Because my mom wasn't the most compassionate, loving mom, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, and now they're older, so now we have this new chapter, like
totally. And that's what makes it less sad, is that you can kind of like, you can look at that and like you could see that they're carrying that forward too. Totally.
You made some good humans for this world, and
seeing you interact with your son, it's awesome. Like it's a testament to the, a job well done as a dad.
Thank you. But you know what else is crazy about that is that he's gonna move out of this house someday, and I might have like what's it called? Empty nest syndrome.
Oh yeah.
That's what's tripping me out, dude. He's 22, but none of his friends live on their own yet. They can't afford to live in Los Angeles by themselves.
Yeah.
It's so expensive. But like when that happens, it's going to be so hard. Like walking by his room.
Yeah.
That room's had 1,000 paint jobs and different bed sizes and all this shit.
Oh God. Bunk beds to like regular. Yeah.
But I know it's part of life, and he's going to go out there and do his thing, but we'll always have that bond. But it's just like, dude, it gets so emo thinking about it. It's like, shit, I had another kid. I'm like, oh, bro.
Yeah.
But it's part of like, we don't own these kids. We make these kids and we raise these kids, and then they get to do what they want, and we try to put them out in this scary ass world.
Totally. I know. And then they'll have kids, and then we come back around.
I can't wait to be a grandparent.
Me too.
Not anytime soon, hopefully, but like that's another thing too. Like just like, not to get morbid, but I saw something online. It's like, if you're 50 years old, this is how many days, years, months, minutes you have left on this planet. I'm like, dude,
I know. Those
am I trying to live till 90? Like I don't know what I'm gonna live to, man. But the length expectancy of life has been, it's longer now.
It's going up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to live as long as I possibly can.
I know. You ever think about the end game? You ever think about the future like that, or no? We're getting too morbid right now? Because we are getting. Oh, you're young. You're still in your 40s, bro. But still,
I'm right up there, though. You know what I think about though is I think about the sauna, the cold plunge,
Yes.
meditation, being healthy,
Yes.
physically and mentally, and then I think about like seeing when you see somebody who's 70 years old that could easily be 90.
Totally.
And if we can manage to keep taking care of ourselves, that we can like live. I think that's the scariest part is being like, being in a position where everything is compromised.
Yeah.
Like, which can happen to any of us
I
at any
know.
moment. But at the same time, like we were talking about earlier, with just like a colonoscopy is like, dude,
It's so important.
If you get it, you can get it. Like they can find something, and the sooner you find something, like why not just get it done?
Prevention.
Like,
Man.
Yeah. So I think what we're doing right now is like, a lot of the steps that we're taking in life right now is prevention stuff. So we try and like, I want to see the grandkids have kids.
I know, man. Me too, dude.
Like that would be nice. I want to see it. Like,
I know. That's what happens afterwards. Like, do we shut off? Do we just like, who knows what happens after, man? We're never going to know until it happens.
No.
Do you know what I'm saying?
No.
Like, it's so kind of crazy when you get older, you start seeing your kids they're getting older, and then like, well, I'm getting older too. And then like, it's crazy, man. I love life so much. I love being here. I love every moment on this planet. I love like my family. I love what I get to do for a living. I get travel and all that.
Hopefully we continue to live full lives to where we're at the point where we're ready to go,
Yeah, for sure. And be in a good place like that. You know what I mean?
That would be the dream. Is that you're there and you're like, I've lived a great life. I've seen a lot of things. Kids are here. Grandkids are here. And I'm good.
Yeah. Getting super dark right now. Okay, social media. What's your take on social media?
A necessary evil for certain things.
Absolutely.
I don't like what I see when
especially now, man.
Yeah.
Bro, it's so dark.
My son's not really on it, but my daughter's into TikTok.
That's right. The TikToks.
That's big for her.
And people love TikTok, and people say that there's really positive things on there here.
There's positive things in all of
educational
it too,
things, and
it's also you wake up, you get on your phone, you immediately see what you don't have. It puts you in a mindset of what you're lacking.
Facts.
So on the flip side of that is you can there's people that have great careers off of that. You could see things that there's motivational stuff, there's like there's ways to create a brand with little money, there's all kinds of pluses to it.
Totally.
But it's like it's like any sort of obsession, and you and I are we can be victims of that too.
Absolutely, dude. You get on there, you post something, you read something, and it's like,
I think when we talked about it last time, it was like, what was it? Maybe 20 or 30 minutes that day. Maybe yesterday was an hour and a half. Like it fluctuates, and I'm easily susceptible to being able to look at things that I don't have or put myself in a different perspective of, what's my life lacking? And it's like, my life is in abundance. I have, and I can, there's a way where in my past I looked at lacking in all kinds of different ways. Like I was lacking in my life in, I always had to have something.
Yeah.
And the way I try and live now is that what I have or what I think that I want is not going to substitute for what you have right now.
Agreed.
Like there's nothing that I need to attain that is going to bring me happiness.
Yeah.
And
I have it all, man.
And when you look at, even when you look at things that may not be going your way, is that things can possibly be worse.
Absolutely.
So if I keep that perspective where it's like, hey, like I could walk out to my car right now and someone may have keyed the car, or I could go home and something isn't the way I really, expected it to be.
Mm-hmm.
Or tomorrow I could try and go skate and break my wrist, right? True. Any of these things, can possibly happen. If or when that does happen, I can always look at it in an optimistic way and see the side of it that things could be worse.
Great
and
point.
To be grateful for that not happening and how to move forward from that point on.
Okay, yeah. It's true. But I feel like, but for social media, I feel like kids, I love that perspective. But as far as online stuff, for kids, that's kind of all they know. And for us, we grew up differently. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well,
we didn't see somebody had more money than us. Or I guess we did in real life, or somebody that we had something we wanted, or a life that maybe our friends were rich kids. I don't fucking know. It's good. That's a good point, though.
But it took me 47 years to get to that point, and a 13-year-old that's looking on TikTok or whatever doesn't have that perspective.
That's true.
And
good
so,
point.
like, I don't know what the solution to it is. How to moderate that. Like whether it's age restrictions, and age restrictions, it doesn't matter because I still can do that.
Yeah.
So it's not really age. It's like saying, well, you can't smoke until you're 18. Does it make it less bad for you? No. Like,
Good
it's
point.
like,
yeah.
It's one of those things. Like we live in an era where this is what it is. Like,
it is what it is.
And it's like how you raise your son,
or how you navigate through it,
and navigate through that. And then you can have those conversations. And all we can do is, you can have a conversation with Max. I can have a conversation with my kids. I can let them know what my behavior was in the past, how, like what my recovery looks like, how my addictions and my obsessions look like. And it's possible theirs can manifest in different ways.
True.
But to be aware of it, I guess.
Yeah.
The communication, I don't know. Like, it's a tough one. Like
communication is, with our children is one thing, but communication with our children with other children is solely through like either TikTok or one of these apps, or like it's just the way they communicate is just so different.
Yeah.
Like people don't call each other on the phone really anymore and have conversations.
Well, now they FaceTime mostly, which is interesting.
Good.
Yeah.
FaceTime's good.
Yeah.
It's interesting because my son would tell me back in the day, like, oh, I don't call girls because that's too personal. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But now they're FaceTiming, which is like you see them. I don't know.
Personal, yeah.
It's just a weird time, man. It's just with technology, with the phones, with all that stuff, man.
Yeah.
It isn't necessary evil. We absolutely need it to promote everything we're doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
how to not get hooked. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's really tough.
What do you have like a one favorite video you've done, skate part out of all the videos you've been on that you're the most proud of?
Probably, I guess it would be that video part that I put out after I had that ultimatum, like the misled youth part.
Okay.
Just because like after that part, I turned pro. It was sort
game
of
changer.
Yeah, that was the one that was at the time, I think that was the most special for me.
Are there any parts on any of these videos that you like, I could have did that better, or you think about it like that, or?
Yeah, maybe.
They really, really bothered you after it was already out?
Maybe there was one of the parts I wasn't super happy with.
You pick your music too. You did a lot.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And I did.
You had some Danzig in there. You had some.
Yeah, we were talking about
Alice
that
Cooper.
first video part. I skated to Mother, and
That's
then
sick.
in the America video, the one that I'm not super proud of, I skated to 777.
Okay.
And
you had to get permission for that too back then.
Yeah. Well, back, in the first couple videos, we didn't get permission.
Okay.
Because the videos were so small.
Small.
It wasn't, and nobody was really seeing them.
Yeah.
But then, maybe since around 2000, 2005, everything has had to get rights.
Yeah.
And, it's, I think when you're kind of bootlegging everything and you don't have any money, it's like whatever.
It's super DIY.
But now, you've got like Nike puts out a video.
Oh, yeah.
And, it's obviously they get the rights. And, even for us with the last Deathwish video you were talking about from 2013, we got the rights. And I think we probably spent like maybe 50 or 60 grand.
Damn.
And, I think most bands, they're like cool with skating and they're like, yeah, but then it depends, sometimes there's, multiple people in a group and it has to run through everybody.
Especially Wu-Tang or something like that.
Yeah, that would be tough.
Woo, I know Stans had some stuff where they're like, get everybody to sign it, then one person did it, and it's just like...
Yeah, that would be almost impossible. You're trying to get like multiple signatures for everybody to approve it.
Bro.
Who was super easy?
That you dealt with one of your...
Yeah, David Bowie's licensing was
wow,
very
that's cool.
easy.
Wow.
Yeah, that one was
nice
on
to
one
hear.
of the. It was less expensive than a lot of the stuff that we got.
And then what about some music you listen to currently? Are you listening to new music? Like what do you listen to in the car?
Shoot. Lately,
old shit, new shit.
I've been listening to like lately a lot of Kendrick, really.
Yeah. Then do what? GNX.
Yeah, GNX, all the new stuff.
So good, dude.
Like it's just so good.
I know the whole album. It's like I don't get sick of the whole album. Let's do it like freaking 50 times probably.
Yeah, it's insane.
Perfect album. We have to go to that show too. It's on May.
I would love to. Yeah.
So Kendrick mostly. Yeah.
You know, like let's see. Last night, what did I put on? I put on just like I just said like play 50s music. So you
That's
know, like
nice.
whatever. So. Let's see.
You listen to everything.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. I will always listen to like GNR is always in a little bit of the rotation.
Guns N' Roses. Okay, nice.
I think I mentioned last time when I was came over here, I was listening to Neil Young a little bit.
Yeah.
Did
you see the Bob Dylan movie?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
You're Bob Dylan fan?
No, I'm not a huge fan, but then
I became one after
I was
that
like
movie.
starting to listen to Bob Dylan after that.
Dude, me too.
But
man.
I liked Bob Dylan always, right?
Same,
but it
I
wasn't
respected
something
him.
I was always like I need to like get the record or listen to it.
Same.
You know? So
that movie made me like really like appreciate Bob Dylan. I knew all the songs in the movie.
Yeah.
I never owned a Bob Dylan record in my life. I knew all the songs.
Same.
Yeah, he killed that shit, dude.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was.
What about
It's always cool to see, like, you know, when the Johnny Cash movie came out, and I started listening to Johnny Cash
Joaquin
a little bit more.
Killed that shit, bro.
Yep. Ray Charles one, like Jamie Foxx killed that. Like that was, you know, like
the Queen one
sometimes
was
that
good
little
too.
that was really good too. Yeah, I
Was
like Queen a lot.
Was there a Bowie one too? Was there a Bowie movie?
I don't know. There was
I don't know if there was yet.
What was the movie he was in with the Velklings and all the
I don't know.
That
he was actually in
sorcery type movie.
He was in it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but later on I forgot what it was.
David Bowie's amazing. Iggy Pop.
Did you watch the Yacht Rock doc?
No, I didn't.
Oh, dude, you have to watch that.
You were jamming when we were here doing tattoos. You were like,
bro,
all Yacht Rock.
You got it's so good, dude.
Yeah. What's like? Is Kenny Loggins in
there? Kenny
there?
Loggins in there. Christopher Cross.
Oh yeah, Christopher Cross. Yeah.
Was it Michael McDonald? Everybody.
Yep.
He's on every song, dude. He worked with Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's the pinnacle of the.
It is, but those dudes are kind of like in the cut. They're still like, you knew their faces, but they did a lot of stuff.
So who would be like the main? Who's like the face of Yacht Rock?
That's a great question.
Who is
maybe
that?
Christopher Cross because the song "Sailing."
Yeah. Okay.
And Kenny Loggins.
Yeah.
But Hall & Oates didn't make the cut for some reason.
They didn't.
I don't know why. I don't know what
Interesting.
the hell it was. I love Hall & Oates.
Which is Huey. Oh, I was thinking about who some of the first like I remember the Huey Lewis and the News record when I was like 6 years old.
Yeah.
But I think
that's
he doesn't fall into that.
He
though, right?
didn't make the cut.
No. But that's not really that. I don't think that fits in that.
No, you should watch it though, because you would think Hall & Oates would be in there, but they're not in there. It's weird.
I've seen it on Netflix.
Yeah, it's still you still get that high, right? You still get that feeling when you ride a skateboard.
Yeah.
It's never gonna go away, dude.
I don't think it'll ever go away.
It's some sort of spirit or connection or a spirit of youth or I don't know what the fuck it is, dude.
Yeah, and it's also everything's ingrained in you. So the feeling you had when you were 13 years old doing something,
comes back, dude.
It all comes back.
I know.
You know,
landing your first trick, like smashing your shins up, popsicle stick yourself,
and then it kind of feels good to still get hurt a little bit.
It does. So it wakes you up a little bit, gets your blood going.
Yep.
Damn. Well, thank you, skateboarding.
Yep.
And
definitely.
thank you, Mr. Ellington, for being here.
I
could talk to you for hours, dude. This is already 2.5 hours.
Thanks for having me.
This is way better.
We'll do another one.
We do a part 3. You feel better this time around?
Yeah, I do.
It's so much better, dude.
That was just
we
easy.
We got our drinks. We got our fucking Liquid Deaths and our element. I can't say that.
We just had a conversation like normal.
Totally, dude. Yeah.
I was so nervous. I was so nervous the first time.
You didn't seem nervous, though. Just so you know, for listeners, his wife loved the first one, but it's his choice. So come back and talk on the podcast.
Also, I just wanted another reason to come back.
No, you're always welcome here. We covered everything, though, right? We did pretty good.
Yeah.
Because I lost my notes. You know what? My wife told me I should have saved all my notes for every one of my podcasts.
That would be kind of sick.
Made a fucking book or something,
That
dude.
would be cool. You could start now.
No, man. It's 300 in, though. It's like, damn.
Yeah, but what about the next 300?
I know, it's a lot, dude. I'm trying to think after you look at your... Dude, it's so crazy. Like, that was the most... We got more in depth about your story in Colorado on this one, though. That was... Man. I feel like I was there and I was going through it. It was just so fucking stressful, man. I lost my shit, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
My marriage might have fell up. I would have went crazy. I don't know, especially if like looked like the odds were against me and I was really going to go to jail. I'm like, dude.
Yeah. I'm glad we got to talk about that though. And you know,
me
that's,
too. I would never want to go to jail, dude.
No.
Especially me, I have like end racism on my back. I'm like the most posy, like unity person. If I went to jail, I'd be, what am I going to do, man? Like, I'm going to get fucked up, dude.
You'll be a loner.
I guess, yeah, it's called others. They call it in there. Like you're by yourself.
Yeah.
I don't know. I watched too many prison things about it. Like I don't know, man. I'll be so fucked with, dude. God.
Yeah.
I'm so happy I'm a law-abiding citizen. I pay my taxes.
I know. Yeah.
I never been arrested and all that shit. Actually, I got one last story. I got picked up by the cops when I was like, it was like 1983 or 4 America's Cup in Newport, Rhode Island. We skated these banks. We took over these banks in this little place called Thames Street, like 83 or something. And there was a tourist there, came in town for the Olympics, this old lady, and one of my friend's skateboards shot out from under him and hit her ankle and broke her ankle.
Oh, God.
So she tried suing Newport, Rhode Island, and we all went and we all protest with all the local hardcore bands. And we went to City Hall and protest. But before that, I went down the street to get my mom a pack of Virginia Slim cigarettes.
Nice.
On my skateboard, no phones. And this cop pulled up and he said, "Come here," like that to me. And I was like, "Me?"
Yeah.
And he said, "You gonna come with me to the station?" And I was freaking the fuck out. Didn't tell me anything. Put me in the back of the car, no handcuffs.
Oh my God.
And then drove me to the police station. I had no contact with my mother.
Did you have the Virginia Slims in your pocket?
Probably, yeah, dude, from my mom, bro. Had to use them to get out of jail. No, I got to the police station and all my friends, was all these skateboards lined up. I'm like, holy shit.
Oh, wow.
And they had all my friends in one big cell. They put me in a fucking cell.
No way. So they just went around and just collected all the skateboarders?
All of a sudden it was illegal that day.
No way.
And then I had no way to contact anybody, so I knew somebody there and they contacted my mom. I was there for hours, bro.
Yeah.
And I think ever since then I've been scared of the police. That was this fucked up moment. They didn't tell me anything that I did wrong. I was just fucking crazy.
So then from that point on, it was illegal in Newport, Rhode Island?
No, then we all went and protested, went to City Hall, we got the law changed back.
And then you did that.
We fucking did that, bro.
Okay.
Got skateboarding back to Newport, Rhode
Great.
Island.
And is it still standing?
Yeah, Newport's still a skate town. I mean, there was a new documentary came out about Water Brothers. I don't know if you know about them. I have to say in the doc. It was a famous skate shop on First Beach with a half pipe. And even Tony Hawk came there. Every pro came to Newport, Rhode Island back in the day and did those, like, what do they call? They come to town. They do like
demos.
Yep. Yeah, Tony's in the doc. It's a really beautiful doc. And I didn't realize that was the first place I ever bought my first skateboard. First time I skated a ramp. But I was super young, but yeah. Anyway, shout out to Newport, Rhode Island, and
yes,
skateboarding, all my Rodney Mullen, whatever.
Skateboarding is not a crime.
Skateboarding is not a crime. So we'll do another podcast. We're gonna do a part 3. We're gonna put these all together.
Yeah.
Like how more comfortable we get with each other. You get with me, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
But the sauna plunge was great today. Appreciate you in my life. It was great meeting you. Shout out to Cody Mack, dude, who made the connection.
Yes,
he was trying for months to connect us. And then who else connected us after that?
Casey.
Yeah, shout out to fucking Casey Morrissey. Yep. Love you, Casey. Legendary skateboarder, legendary in the sobriety community right now.
Yes, he is.
And doing great things for people. And also, I always have to give my guests a shout out about their hair. You have great hair, you have a great hairline, you have good head of hair. I have hair envy.
Oh my God.
His hair's looking good. You got good head of hair, huh?
Thank you.
Yeah, you're fucking chilling, dude. Shout out to your wifey and your family. And yeah, this is awesome. I'm feeling good right now. I'm starving. You hungry?
Yeah, I'm very hungry.
Starving. And tomorrow I'm going to take my first small plane ride, so this gonna be interesting. We'll get back to you guys on that one.
Everybody wish him luck.
Oh
no, it'll be.
I wish me luck. Thanks. No, I'll be fine. You got me psyched on it today.
Yeah, you'll be just fine.
I know.
Yeah, but dude, thank you for having me,
dude,
and I appreciate you bearing with me on my.
No, dude, you just like me. You're a sensitive, emotional soul. I appreciate that. And you go to Erik Ellington Instagram. Do you check your DMs?
Yeah.
He'll check your DMs. Just don't say anything rude and disrespectful to him. And then what else is coming out? We got Deathwish out there. We got Baker Distribution still going strong. Yep. We're going to have Easy Does It coming out.
Yep.
And then Ellington's is on the back burner for now.
That's on the back burner. Human Recreational Services. The shoes that I still do.
Yeah, your shoes. Yep. Yeah, you got a lot of shit going on, dude.
Yeah.
It's pretty
amazing. I got to stay moving.
Stay moving, man. Very inspirational, man. Okay, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, brother.
Okay, bye. Peace. What happens, I hate when you get off the podcast and then your guest is like, tells you something really fucking awesome and informative and helpful. So we just talked about me being scared to fly tomorrow. And then Erik said,
well, so Toby's extremely concerned about this flight tomorrow.
But flying in general, people know that my flying in general sucks.
I had a huge problem with it. And I was always like, like it was a thing. Like it was a nightmare and I was so scared and the anxiety and all that. So I did this therapy class with the lady and it was 15 years ago. I forget what her name is. And I wish I could remember, and I would have told you this privately when we were off air.
But it worked.
It worked. So it was like there was just whatever the lessons that she learned through her therapy of being able to teach people helped me to be able to accept that it wasn't, it was it was less about my fear of the actual, like, something going wrong in the plane,
Me too.
so it's like, it's not necessarily that, because when I'm in the air, I'm okay. It's not like I'm like freaking out the entire time.
Yeah.
But it's like the buildup, like it's the takeoff, or it's actually like prior to that.
Is it walking into the airport?
It's walking into the airport. It's packing my bag is when a lot of the anxiety happens. And so, whatever she said, and I can't remember it exactly. It was so long ago, but if you wanted to like try that out, it definitely helped me, so.
Yeah. I'm getting hypnoptized maybe, or
I think people get that done too, but I didn't get hypnotized.
But did it help you?
Mine was like probably 5 sessions, like an hour a time.
Wow.
And, like there was one thing that I remember, and she was like just tapping your feet. And I think it was basically taking my mind off of something. So
yeah. Did it help you? Did it work?
It did. Yeah. It helped me.
You've never been like that again?
And I still have it, I can get nervous and stuff, but I also think about these things about now. It's like, I have no control over this. And
I know. Once you get in the airport, you don't.
Sadly, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen.
But besides that, as soon as you walk into the airport, you're under everybody's rules and regulations. You have no more control. You have to follow every rule, or you'll be kicked off the plane or arrested, whatever. Like everything from going through security, on the plane, sitting down, getting up to go pee, everything, dude. You have to gotta let go, dude.
You got to let go.
And it sucks.
Yeah.
And like me, I'm always like nervous stomach. Do I have to go to the bathroom or not? Or just like, I'm so nice to TSA. I'm like just smiling. Good morning. I want no issues. I have nothing in my bag. Even if you have nothing in your bag but a fucking bag of nuts and a protein bar, I still get nervous for some reason. I don't know why. And they're scanning your bag for chemicals or fucking resin. I'm like, bro. Dude.
I think the gist of what she told me was accepting things beyond my control.
Yes.
And my stepdad was a pilot, like I was telling you.
Yeah.
And what he kind of related certain things, turbulence was like speed bumps.
Okay.
Like that was about the, like, he asks if you're driving down the street and you hit a speed bump in your car, does your car just fall apart and the engine fall out? So turbulence was always one of the things that shook me up. Like I get freaked out. And
most planes, nothing happens with turbulence. That's just part of their.
And think about how many
travel.
Planes are in the air. How much is, like what.
Just for some reason this year, there's so many being posted every day. And I know I researched it, and there was just as many, if more, last year, but they didn't really talk about it. So there's something with politics or whatever they're doing, putting it up every day. It just seems like every day there's something. It's just like, bro. I looked into driving to our first show in Detroit, April 22nd. It's 30 hours from here to Detroit. And Max, like, because Max hates flying too, is like, let's drive. I'll fucking drive. I'm like, 30 hours are going to be so wrecked by the time I get on stage in Detroit.
I took a train to New York one time. Like, it was
really?
Yeah. I skipped out on the flight. It was a tour we were supposed to go on. I didn't show up to the airport. I booked a Amtrak ticket and just took a train.
How long did that take?
Like that was 3 days,
wow,
3.5 days.
Dude. Was it brutal?
For me at the time, it wasn't as brutal as flying.
Yeah,
but
that's how much you. That's how much you.
That's how much I hated it.
Wow, I thought you did it to be crazy. Be like,
No, I really did not like it.
I know. It was freaking. Once I get past tomorrow, I haven't flown in 8 months. The last time I was flying, I flew like 5 times in South America in October.
And you got used to it, right?
I did, but it's just like the early morning flights, the little planes flying from country to country. Bro, it's brutal, dude. It's just what we. But at the same time, we get to do what we love. This is what we're doing. We're going to these places to do what we love. It's just like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Some people never leave their towns, or like, it's like, I'm not complaining. I'm very grateful for it, but I'm a terrible flyer, so. I'm learning breath work when I fly as well and all that stuff.
And that is probably like, just even do a little of the Wim Hof stuff. Just have the app and just start going through it. And if your mind is off of that and it's in something else, that's why sometimes the music. Yeah. Like if I play Metallica or something, like that's what I would try and do is just like play something that I was like,
something that hard too.
Yeah. Like I would just go. And then that way it would take my mind off of it. So I don't know, true. Maybe think about that.
Banging in your seat.
What's beyond your control.
It's true.
Like you step in, you've made the decision. Okay. And then try and just like think about like maybe even just breathing through it, I guess. Like, and
it's true. There's no control, man. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah. And then look into that if it's still bad.
Yeah. I'm gonna try it. You remember A-Team?
The A-Team?
Yeah, they had
Baracus.
Yeah, they had
he couldn't fly.
Yeah, they had to knock him out or do something to him. Yeah.
Was it B.A. Baracus that couldn't fly?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
they knock him out, put him on planes and shit. Yeah.
Get your son, go to the airport with you, knock you out.
push me through in a wheelchair or something. Yeah, I got to man up and do it. I've been flying my whole freaking life, dude. It's just like, it's what we do, man. So
yeah.
All right, thanks for the advice, Erik Ellington. Appreciate you.
It wasn't much. All right, later.
Hey, we're back on the podcast, and I did take that flight, Erik, and it was absolutely stressful, and it was wonderful, and I'll never do it again, but it was a great experience. Less than 12 hours in Las Vegas, and I'm glad I did it.
And you survived.
I survived.
Yes.
So thank you for your advice on that. Also, it wasn't the Olympics in Newport, Rhode Island. I want to check myself. It was the America's Cup races in 1983. Let's get those facts straight. And also, since we've been on this podcast a couple times, you got a new barrel plunge. Yeah, you got a new plunge in sauna, and I've been to your crib and tried it.
Yeah,
it's awesome. You got inspired over here, and you got your own thing set up, and you put it together yourself, and it's awesome, man.
I love it. Yeah, I use it every day. I love it.
It's a game changer.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, since we've been on this pod, you met the most legendary, wonderful, spiritual Mr. Lucas Mack.
Mm-hmm.
And we went and saw Wu-Tang Clan together.
That was amazing, yeah.
Went and saw the Wu-Tang with Run the Jewels with Amy and Lucas. It was such a fun night. They killed it. We fixed my garage. We haven't had any rain since, but what we talked
fixed
about
it right after all the rain.
Yeah, Erik came and built this thing for me, and I'm so excited to try it. We haven't had rain in months.
Yeah, and then Greg happened to be in the neighborhood, so Greg helped. Yeah,
you met my man Greg Flack, and then since then he's become friends with you and helped do some stuff with your crib as well, bros.
Yep.
I went and skated Deathwish with Max and his singer Luke, and they were shredding it up over there. That was awesome to see your whole
Max
spot.
broke my board.
Oh yeah, Max. That's right, Max.
He was so bummed.
He was so bummed. He felt so bad. But we got to check out the Deathwish headquarters, which was super, super awesome. Also, your son moved out.
Yeah, he did. He moved to Nevada.
And how's it feel in the house with him being gone?
It's lonely,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, it's an adjustment. Like you live a certain way for so long. And then I'm excited for him to go off and pursue his things in life and everything. But now it's Amy and Maya and me.
Awesome.
Yeah. And he's coming back to visit August 4th. So he'll be here for my birthday, the launch of Easy Does It and all that stuff.
And it's like, it's the next chapter.
It is. Yeah. So it's like, I'm excited for him. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's like,
it's a big deal.
You're missing a part of what you.
I said earlier, we don't own our kids. We raise our kids.
Right.
We
Straight up
into the world. And it's like this. We make them and
hopefully, we've done the right things along the way. Yeah, sure. Exactly. The best job we could.
And then also you're on a new workout thing now. You're doing your calories. You're getting fit for your birthday and shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when Julius comes back, I got to be yoked up.
He is yoked up. And also Easy Does It is out right now.
Yeah. Well, it's coming out. We have the launch party August 7th at the Bungalow at Night Market in Santa Monica, August 7th, 5 to 11. So yeah, it's been a lot. It's been.
Is it available online now? Is it available in the market?
No.
When's it going to happen?
Like August 7th through the end of August, that'll be the stages where it's available. And
slow roll out in different places.
Yeah. So it'll be available on our site on easydoesitbrew.com.
Okay.
And then we'll be launching with some grocery stores, Albertsons, Vaughn's, Pavilions.
It's huge. It's amazing.
Yeah. So we're doing, and then we've got some places like the Bungalow. It'll be available, and there's a few others that I'll when we come back I'll talk about.
Yeah. What's the gram so we can find you?
Easy Does It Brew.
Okay.
Yeah.
So everything's that's out. The website's out, and it's going to start rolling.
Yeah. Everything will be.
Month,
exactly. When this comes out, everything will be out.
It's exciting, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very exciting.
I think we probably cut that part out, but I was talking, we were rambling. But yeah, just the people that you talk to now realize how NA beers are super popular, and I see people drinking them. My friend Alex was here and talking about it, and just how it's it's kind of cool not to drink anymore. You don't have to drink to fit in. You don't have to drink to have fun, and you can go drink this and drive home and all that stuff. It's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. It's you can enjoy a beer with friends. You can you don't have to have any sort of the after effects of alcohol. And yeah, I mean the whole thesis of what I want to do is I want to just encourage moderation, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's if you choose to drink non-alcoholic beer, I want there to be an option that sort of reflects a lot of the things that the iconic brands that I loved without the alcohol.
Yeah, I love that, and it looks great. And if people have seen it yet, when they listen to podcasts, maybe they have, but it looks great. The artwork, everything, it's just the branding.
Yeah, thank you.
It's awesome.
And worked hard on the recipe and, all these things.
Yeah.
It's I like the learning process of that, and like being able to work with my friend Gabe Fletcher that we had talked about, and like, you know, being able to formulate what the recipe is like, and then changing that, and, you know, going on like it's cool. It's been fun learning something completely different. You know,
it's totally
like,
out of your realm.
Yeah.
That's why I love that you just did that and went for it.
Yeah.
And also, I saw your house coming along too, all the stuff you're doing, all the work you're putting in there, and the stuff you're building. It's inspiring, man, because I wish I was more of a handyman, but I see
come
you doing
over
it.
and help me.
I know. I need to learn to pick up a freaking hammer. But I love that you do that, and it's like you're always staying busy, you're always being creative, you're always moving and doing stuff, and it's awesome, dude.
Yeah, it's fun. You know, like also too is just to be able to get out and do something with your hands and do something physical. Like, because, you know, a lot of times we'll be, you know, like, I don't know about you, but like I'll sit in front of a screen for 6 or 7 hours, and like, you know, when I get the chance to be able to go and do something, like I love it. Yeah, I love to do it.
Outside, always doing it, man. Well, thanks for the listeners. This has been like such a amazing thing to like being connected to Erik, finally becoming friends with him for the past months now, and doing the pod and coming back and adding things to this pod, and just everything, just like becoming close with family and reconnecting with Amy, your wife, who I knew from the New York days, which I'm going to have on this podcast someday, and just like hanging out with you guys. It's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's been fun, man.
It's nice to meet other families out here too, kind of from the same world, you know? It's cool.
Yeah, I love it. It's been nice, man. Like it's funny. Like when we started this, it was like, you know, I think like my like, I don't know, the way that you are, you know, like it was like we had known each other for a long time, you know, and it just clicked, and now
really clicked.
Now we talk often, and we're good friends. So
it's amazing,
it's awesome.
Dude. I love how that shit works, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for Cody Mack for doing that, man. Be the one pushing this to happen for a long, long time.
Much appreciated.
And now we did it. Now we just have to invite Cody over here to plunge song with us.
That's right.
I doubt he's going to want to do it, but I think he should do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for listeners. We did it. Thank you, Erik.
We did
Appreciate
it.
you so much, man.
Thank you, Toby.
I'm stoked for you.
Yeah. Love you, brother.
Love you too. Easy does it. Peace. Got to give a big shout out to Liquid Death. I've been in a band called H2O for 30 years. And my first real job with a company is a water brand. Go figure. Love you, Liquid Death. Love the people. Love the brand. Love the concept. Love what they give back. Love the community. Love what they do for the environment. You can go liquiddeath.com/OLLC and get free shipping on any of their merchandise that they make. They have such incredible collabs. Also, if you want to hear the story of the CEO, my good friend Mike Cesario, on the podcast, you can go to episode 115, part 1. And then 2 years later, we dropped a part 2, which is episode 275 with the CEO, Mike Cesario. Just a man from Delaware with a dream, worked at a marketing company, and made this become a reality. Liquid Death is an incredible company, incredible water, incredible people. And I'm super, super honored to be part of them. They sponsor my life. They sponsor everything, my family. So go liquiddeath.com/OLLC and get free shipping on anything you want to buy on that site. If you want to get water, it's exclusively on Amazon.com. Murder your thirst, y'all. I always ask my guests if they have any regrets. I personally don't have any regrets. Even when it comes to my tattoos, I have the silliest tattoos. Even my ET on my leg, it's still a childhood memory for me, and I love it. I've had tattoos on top of tattoos strictly because I wanted more tattoos. I started getting tattoos when I was 18. I'm 52 now, and I can't stop. I've had laser treatment before on something on my arm. It's 4 tattoos on top of each other. And that experience at that place was pretty fast. It was pretty cold. It was in and out, swipe the credit card. Don't really tell me much, didn't give me much details of anything was going to happen. So I never went back. So as of most recently, I'm so lucky enough to have had 2 sessions at Removery Tattoo Removal. My tattoo on my arm that looks like a big black blob is now super light. I've had 2 sessions. I have a long road ahead of me. None of this stuff happens overnight. You cannot take a tattoo up in one sitting. You have to be patient. And it's painful. They ice you up. It's super fast. To me, it felt like a bunch of rubber bands. But what's more painful than that is looking at something on your body that you think you're stuck with for the rest of your life. That sucks. But now for me, I'm really happy I started this journey. I'm slowly going to get this tattoo removed. I never thought in a million years I have any kind of real estate on my arm. I don't even know what I want, but it's exciting. I'm so honored to announce that One Life, One Chance podcast is now with Removery. Call 866-934-4570 or go to removery.com. Use TobyH2O and get $100 off your first session. One of the most experienced tattoo removal companies in the world. Removery has 155 locations and 1.8 million treatments. US, Canada, and Australia. State-of-the-art peak away laser technology, cryotechnology to reduce any discomfort. This is so exciting for me because all I do in these podcasts is talk about tattoos. From day one, if you've been listening to this podcast, talk about tattoos, talk about getting removed, talk about getting covered up. So this is such a perfect fit for me. Definitely check out One Life, One Chance podcast, episode 281. I have Carmen Brody, Mike McTurnan, and Dustin Ortle from Removery. And this is over a 2-hour conversation. People had submitted questions. It's an incredible conversation breaking down the do's, the don'ts, the fears, process, the results, everything you could imagine about getting a tattoo removed. It's all in this podcast. It's an incredible episode. I appreciate them all coming out for it. So check that out if you want to learn more about Removery and what it's like to get a tattoo removed. Once again, go to Removery.com or call 866-934-4570. Use my code TobyH20 and get $100 off. These guys are located everywhere. Try it out. I have a lot of friends who are sober, a lot of friends who are straight edge, a lot of my friends who are going through it. I know struggling with substance abuse and alcoholism can be really, really hard, especially knowing who to turn to. It can be really, really daunting. I'm here to say that a good friend of mine and his friend started this incredible treatment center called Refined Recovery. They gave me a phone number, 855-516-3332. You can text, you can call them. It's totally confidential. It's safe. There'll be somebody on the other line to help you out, a compassionate human being to talk to. They help you navigate the process, the insurance treatments. They accept most of private insurances. You can go refinerecovery.com, Refine Recovery Instagram. I know it's hard, but reach out to somebody, man. People care about you. People love you. People want you to be here for a long time. People love you in their lives. If you're going through it, make this phone call. It's totally private. I know people DM me all the time about going through it and going through sobriety and trying to get straight and trying to take care of themselves, and the struggle is totally real. And Refine Recovery is the definitely move. Reach out to them, 855-516-3332, or text them, 855-516-3332. You can call or text this number anytime, 855-516-3332. You know the drill. This number is here for you to call.